time, love? Oh, my tea time. I love that name's creative. Oh, Angelina, Teresa, Missy. I have one picture I keep hanging on the wall, and every time I put it up, thing falls. Every time. Jen. I love. Oh my god, already. How'd you guys do that so fast? You guys already completed stage 2. Time to celebrate. Thank you, Samantha, for the gifts. And Angelina, congratulations, we became level 7 on the team. I'm having a good weekend. You guys, were you guys in the live last night? I know it was like 3 lives because I don't know what the hell I'm doing on this damn thing. I'm just an old lady. Oh my god, so much fun. I love you guys. No, you missed it. Oh my gosh. It's okay. It was late. You guys, they had so much fun. I love you more, Samantha. They want to do it again. So we had, I love cheer. Oh, I love cheer. I cheered for a long time. Both my daughters cheered. I coached cheer for 20 years. I call myself an old lady. I don't know what I'm doing here. But so yesterday, so my baby's dad came in, and we talked about co-parenting. I've already downloaded it, but we went late, so I will upload that over to YT. And then I was struck because I take us all the time. My kids do not do social media at all, and both my daughters joined as well. My son was my oldest son. He was in the comments. Calm down, ladies. He was in the comments and chatting with us and whatnot because he had taken my grandson to, what's that called? Motocross or something to do with dirt bike. I don't know. It's the same as my YT, or my TikTok. Angie W1470. Megan's in the house. But it was so much fun. Supercross. Thank you. And that's literally how we are all the time when we get together. We're just like a big old episode of WoW now. One of my daughters was telling me today, she's like, some people are so rude. People are like, this is a skit. I'm sure it was just one person. But talking about how this was a skit and a ploy to get gifts and coins, and that wasn't my real family. I'm like, obviously, honey, it wasn't somebody who follows me, because why are all my pictures falling? Because that's not what I do. But anyways, it was, thank you, Michelle. I had so much fun. I'm glad you guys liked it. And to hear my daughter say, oh my god, this is the most fun I've had in the long time. It was hilarious. We had a good time. Hi, Kay. And then when I watched it back when Fangie posted it, and I was giving my dang cat the catnip and was going crazy. Bailey, congratulations, you reached level 9. I didn't even hear my daughter say, I hope you have Narcan. Oh, you're ODing my cat on catnip. It was just a lot of fun. But now that they've done it, they'll want to, they said they'd come up again and hang out. It was so much fun. I laughed, so I needed that too. Oh, go away. Thank you, Georgie. Oh, butterflies. I love it. Wait, what did it say? That would be fun, perfectly imperfect. Did you see Check the Star Baby Mom video? She almost... I did not. Speaking of my daughter. Did he leave the house, though? I did see a video where it looked like he was leaving the house. I don't know. There's just so much going on over at that house. It's just crazy. He did leave? Okay. Did you send it to me? If you send it to me, I'll show it. Sadie's mom. Sadie's mom, where were you last night? I needed you last night. But congratulations for me reaching level 4 on the team, but I needed you last night. Where were you? I needed you to back me up because I almost named my daughter Sadie. And now we got a Sadie's mom. I don't know. Oh, did I call you Georgie? I'm so blind. Is it Joji? Make sure you correct me if I'm saying your name wrong. Hold on. I missed it. Does Stella's baby dad Owen have full custody of Ellie? My understanding, yes. Now, I don't know if he actually has full custody. I know she is not allowed to be alone with the child. That's what I do know. There is paperwork that she is not allowed to be left alone with the child. And Elena Starr is her TikTok. Okay, hold on. Let me look it up. Hold on. ELAINA Starr. Wait, what did... Let me listen to it real fast before I post it. Hold on. I distance himself from the house. Mama, thank you. Bailey, congratulations, you're level 9. Thank you for the cake. I'm always very cautious on my on my platform, like what I post, to make sure that it's across the board for everybody. And the reason why I wanted to listen to it a little bit first is it's very religious, and I definitely do not want to offend anybody. Hi, my creations. Wait, what? Who's on parole? Jordan's dad, I'm assuming. Let's see if I'm right. Mama, you reached level 14, my favorite number. You are amazing. The video saying you didn't support John confused me. That I didn't support John? When did I do it? I've never done a video. Oh, I think, oh, you might have misunderstood. I said I don't support either one over the other, right? Like, I'm not like pro either one over. I'm pro child is what I mean. So if that confused people, then I definitely have to say that. And I've always said that from the beginning. Obviously, I'm pro John in this situation because he's the better parent. But from a work standpoint and a logical standpoint, I'm always pro child, right? So let's say stuff turns around, right? And John starts doing some crazy stuff and Bree completely turns her life around. Even though I absolutely adore John, I'm pro-child. So I'm always going to vote for what's best for the child. If what's best for the child is 50-50, then I'm going to say what's best for the child is 50-50, in my opinion. Yeah, but I adore John. That's absolutely not a secret. No one... You know, that's not anything that I hide, and I hope that it didn't come across that, you know, what I'm trying to say is I'm not fanning out and saying that the reason why I make videos in support of him is because I'm fanning out for him, and that's the only reason why I think that he is the best parent at this time for Winter. It's because of everything, so it's just pro-child. So that's all. I'm at the point now, none of what Bree and them agree, Taz. Absolutely agree. To be honest, I don't even watch them at all anymore. I mean, I haven't for a long time. The stuff I get is always clips. But then if I'm going to use a clip, thank you, T, for thoughts. I need full context, right? Because again, I'm doing a disservice if I'm taking a piece of information and making an opinion on that. No, hi, love. And so I do try really hard. Thank you, Gloria. I do try really hard to, with the pieces that I get, then find the basis of it, get the longer videos, and watch the whole thing. So I'm never making a basis of information on a clip, because clips can be very, very misleading. And again, I want all information. People think because we support him, exactly. Yeah, either that we want him or that we're just like that Winter. Or that, sorry. Again, let me say this now. We're going to be very cautious to not mention baby's name. We call him Baby W. Thank you, Nunu. Call him Baby W, Baby 2K, whatever. But no pictures, no videos. We won't say his name because again, I've always been against that. I've been saying this for a long time. that I don't want that over here. My channel is really about us having conversations and about people learning. And also, mods, really fast, I don't want comments and people blocked unless it's like really disrespectful. Their likelihood is going to be people that are very much pro Bree and or pro just mom having the child regardless of, and that's okay as long as it's done respectfully. I am always open to have a good conversation with somebody that has a different side. I want to hear their side. I want to see, thank you, Jill. I want to see, you know, where they're coming from. Well, I don't know, because I've been seeing a lot more and people now. The first few, when I first came out, you guys, and I made that video, be very cautious of the pro Bree channels. That's because a bunch of them came up all at one time, and they had very limited. You know, they would have like 7 followers, or they were following like minimal people, so you could tell they were brand new. So I was wanted you guys to be cautious of that. But now I'm seeing that there's a lot of people on here that have bigger platforms or just have a platform, and they're very supportive of them. And so I'm just genuinely curious on what aspect. My thought would be, again, this is just me thinking when I hear them talk, is that they just don't want Bree having no visitation, no custody, no nothing of baby W, right? Because every child needs their mom. I'm assuming that they don't mean like right now, that they're not in support of what they did right now. And that's why I want to have those conversations. Just like how somebody mistook in my video when I said I'm not pro Bree or John, I'm pro child. Somebody took that as that was confusing because I've always supported John. So I just want to have those conversations. Yes, K-Boo, what's your question, love? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You guys can always inbox me. Thank you for letting me know, though. Let me screenshot that so I don't forget, because I get a lot. B82. Yeah, I do really want to talk about that as well. So sorry. Any baby B. Is it baby B? Oh, baby. 139. Any conversations that I have with anybody outside of the app, meaning outside of a live, like if we were live together, or even in a comment section where other people can see it, anything outside of that, I always keep private. That's stuff, that's information that will never come to light. I did see that too, but I was very confused on, I got that sent a lot of time. I don't know if I'm just tired. I was very confused on what she was trying to say. Did I miss the message? I know she said that he needed to come clean about everything. They were giving him a few days. He didn't come clean, and that they kind of pulled back, and then something about a business, and he had it that he was the CEO or something, and he's not related at all. Well, right here, love, I got you. Let's see. Who would I sent this to me? Oh. You know what's so crazy? You know, I'll get back to that really fast, but I come onto TikTok. Again, I don't do this to make money, to anything like that. I truly come on, now it's almost just like I'm FaceTiming my besties. But it's crazy. And I grasp that, oh, nothing, we're just getting started. You've missed absolutely nothing. Oh my God, you guys already completed the 3rd stage of the team quest. Team victory has been unlocked for your team members to celebrate. Congratulations, you guys. The best friend said he don't own any of the... how did I miss that? Oh, okay. Okay, so I will pull that up and find it. But I wanted to say this before I forget. So anyways, so last night again I did a live about co-parenting. Since I came on, I have always said that I'm very much pro co-parenting. I will preach it, I will talk about it, I will do anything to advocate for pro co-parenting that I can. So I was blessed last night that the father of my children was willing to come on, and to me, I felt he was very open and honest. He had real raw emotions. He said things that I had never even heard. We have been separated for 30 years. And we have co-parented amazingly. We've even co-parented amazingly to children that biologically are not ours. He had 2 kids younger than after we broke up. I had 2 kids after we broke up. Anyways, I say all that to say, I get a message today from TikTok. Now, my numbers have been great, right? I have a small platform, but I have great numbers. So I get this message from TikTok today that says, your numbers were lower than normal. We think that you talking about co-parenting is probably not the best avenue for you to take. You should try to change it into something, whatever. Fuck you. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about my view to like ratio. I don't care about, money that video didn't do money or what. I don't care because it wasn't about that. It's about putting out positive information and showing other people that in fact you can have a relationship, you can have kids with somebody, it not work out, and then have a very positive relationship. And as you guys those of you that were in there saw the kids talk about how much that affected, how positive. I just had to turn off my request for 10 minutes because this guy kept asking to come in. So we'll have to do boxes in a little bit. But yeah, I was just shocked that I don't know why I'm shocked by that. I just thought that was crazy. Yeah, it's like, oh, I could talk about drama all day because that'll bring in the views and the likes and the comments and the engagement, and they're fine with that. But damn it, Angie, how dare you do something positive? We laughed so much on that entire live. I just don't get it. It's only low compared to the live during. Right. Yeah. I think that too. And they only send out so many notifications. You don't get notified every single time it goes out. And so because we had to start it, stop it, start it, stop, start it, so it was like 3 times we had to do that. Because again, I'm old, I don't know what I'm doing. But either way, I just thought that was crazy. I couldn't believe that they sent that to me. Saying change your subject. No. TikTok, no. I'm still going to talk about it. 24 hours. Yeah, 24 hours. That's actually a very good... Sadie's mom. You see, you're a smart woman. That's actually a good thought, too. What are you comparing it to? Are you comparing over the last 24 hours or just in general? I don't know. I'm not going to stress about it because, again, I don't care. I'm just saying. Yeah, I can talk about whatever we want to. Oh, let's see. I'm so glad that you guys can still request. Hey, AA LAW TOK, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's so odd to be on other people's lives, and I can't turn on my video because I don't have enough followers. So you have to
Oh,
forgive me. But
you guys go follow.
well, no, it's okay. I just saw your video earlier about your live today, and I watch you
Yeah.
often. And I wanted to join about my opinion with Bree, but I know you're talking about your co-parenting
Oh,
live
no,
from
no,
last
it's
night,
okay.
and I just wanted. I feel like so I'm a family law attorney in California, in
Okay.
Southern California. I practice mostly out of Orange County and LA. And it's like so sad to watch this whole entire thing unfold. But I've been completely um, enamored, I guess, by this entire situation. But I I want to say I do not support Bree. I think she's a she has a lot of problems. I shouldn't say support or not support because it's not that. It's just that there's a lot of challenges that she faces that are really serious
Yep.
challenges that impact her ability to not only parent but also to co-parent. However, in the beginning, 2K was not always justified in his actions, and
Oh,
I have
100%.
to call that out because
Yep.
I think that's where so many people are like, well, you served her 5 days after, she gave birth, which actually I don't see that as being an issue. I think that was the right thing to do.
Hmm.
And I think people are taking, that personally. But the issue that I had was that he just kept on filing these ex parte motions that were getting denied. And quite honestly, the only reason this last one was granted is because she just didn't show up. And that's when I saw she just completely tanked. I mean, she had already been spiraling, right? But like,
Right.
she just completely tanked when she didn't show up.
Yeah.
And that ex parte was granted, and then it was horrifying to watch her go to Texas with Winter, and everybody could tell. I think everybody could tell there was a huge difference from even when she traveled to Texas for her one visit. I think it was in December. She still brought stuff and she still had stuff shipped, regardless if it was somebody else who purchased it. But the fact that she flew back from Texas with just like a bottle of water, um, you could tell like there was just a huge difference, at least in
Yeah.
my mind, anyway.
Yeah, I think because she had it planned the whole time that that's what she was gonna do, because at least in my opinion, because I feel like so she was already in Texas on Wednesday. Her pickup for him was on Friday, but she flew from Texas back to California on Wednesday, and then kept pushing off the pickup date. So that threw me off too on this.
Yeah. So
Um,
I just think, and like, moving forward for her, it's not going to help her to go into mental health treatment, especially because she's been talking about it all over the internet. I think what's interesting about her, so I've been an attorney for over 15 years in family law and dependency, and I've dabbled in some criminal defense as well. But um, for the most part, she was on an okay track to share joint legal custody
mhm.
and share parenting time, which I think you mentioned in one of your videos and
Yeah.
mostly on your lives too. But um, she talks a lot about how she's just rage baiting and it's just a persona. And she completely fails to recognize how that persona is harmful to Winter, Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We
No,
weren't
that's
going to say,
okay. It's hard.
um,
I slip up too. It's hard from talking about him to just say that. So it's okay. We're gonna have slip ups.
I'll say the baby. I apologize. But yeah, so, I think that her, I hope she does go, but not for performative reasons. But I think it would be clear to, especially the judges that have been dealing with her case. It's been two different judges. They're not gonna. I mean, this is not.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Right. And that's what I think
Um,
too. Again, I'm not in California, but I think, and I'm not a attorney, but I work in the legal system with my clients. The judges that we have, if I have clients that are just complete mocking the judges and being like, I don't have to listen to the order. You don't control me, so I'm not going to listen to anything to break every single rule. That client is going to get a lot harsher sentence than somebody else who followed all the rules but maybe made a mistake on one or whatever, but actually tried and didn't make a mockery of it. So that's where I keep saying with her, I think going back, I think if she would have, and again, do you have a little bit of time to chat?
I do, yeah.
Okay, good, because you're the perfect person, right, to come in, someone who practices it and in that state. So going back, right, when it was that 50-50 time and John was in California and she kept giving him more time. Do you feel that that was one of the things that potentially got it to where he got more time, or was that truly because she just wanted to dismiss the RO and she just voluntarily said, "Okay, you can have that."
My personal opinion on that issue is that that's when she started to. Well, let me reframe. I think that when she first had the baby, um, that she was um, drawn to motherhood. And I think it's clear in her, videos and everything. And then she got what I'll call, and I hope this isn't offensive, but I'll call a taste of freedom.
Yeah.
And I think she liked that life back. And so then when,
Are you talking about that point? Are you talking about when she made that video when John got him for 5 days when he was 5 weeks old? I said the same thing too. I said after that was when we really saw a difference of like, I'm going to miss him so much, but she never went back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Really got that taste of freedom of what her life was before. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, and so, okay, so then from a legal perspective, understanding that I don't represent either of them, and this isn't like legal advice or anything like that, but from a legal perspective, it was purely a stipulation. None of us know the extent to which those, stipulation communications, where they went, right? We really don't know the likelihood that the restraining order would have been granted. I can tell you that if it was granted, it would have impacted her custody. But I think she wanted, and I'm going to do it in air quotes. You can't see me, but just pretend I'm doing air quotes. I think she wanted the freedom. And so she thought it was just going to go smoothly, right? And, oh, no big deal. He's going to be on a plane. And I know everybody's going to hate me for this, but it actually doesn't matter what the doctors are saying. I know that people don't like to hear that.
Right.
But it doesn't matter, okay? Hear me out. Because there are so many other ways that the baby could have, and also, by the way, I'm just saying the baby because I want to be respectful of 2K, so I'm not being impersonal. I just, that the baby could have been brought to California for the parenting time. And I think that Bree would have had a really good argument for that if she would have just continued down a very appropriate path, right? Of you're supposed to bring the baby here, you're supposed to do this, you're not doing it. And then 2K could have showed up with the doctor's notes, which would have been inadmissible. He would have had the doctor come. And this is where the whole jurisdiction issue comes into play. That's a problem, right? Because the California courts don't have jurisdiction over the doctor in Texas, and a doctor in Texas, doctors don't like to get involved in these things. So he or she likely wouldn't have appeared. And it would have just been a whole mess anyway.
Right.
So, and I know people don't like to hear that, and I agree that it was a problem, but it's a problem that both parties agreed to deal with.
Right.
And it wasn't handled well. There were so many other options, right? Okay, we can't come this week because there's a current active illness, so can we extend it out another week? That may have happened. Again, we don't know their communication. We don't know all of that. But anyway, so I think she liked the freedom. It was purely a stipulation that would not have been ordered, actually. It 100%. 2K got so lucky that she agreed to that. I don't know what happened. I don't know the behind the scenes. We don't know about the RO. We don't know any of that. That would have never been granted.
Yeah.
It would have never been granted if it went to trial. So
sorry, hold on just 1 second. I always like to correct people when I see misinformation in my chat. Melissa, that's not true. I've never said that. It's the comment says Angie don't care about any other babies on TikTok. She said it in one of her recent vids. That's not. I've never said that. I absolutely care about all kids on TikTok. That is why I'm on here doing what it is that I do. I've been talking about Stella's baby and many others across the board. If there's advice that I can do, but you always have to remember, all I can do is give advice. Whether they choose to take it or not is up to them. People put their lives out there. I give my opinions on it. Parents can take it or leave it, but it's more so than up to other people who may have the same exact situation to be able to ask me questions to help their situations. I always say I'm not pro either parent. I'm pro baby. My biggest concern, I'm always going to be what's best for the baby. That's it. So just if you're going to quote me, please just make sure you quote it correctly. But as what you're saying, AA Law Talk, I don't think anybody is mad about that at all. The judge doesn't care what the doctor says. I think that's very true. Again, especially with different jurisdictions. I think it has to go with more so of all of her actions. And I don't know, again, I don't look at all of their court docs and all of the motions and whatnot that are filed, but I really think that the thing with not going to California was literally did not have the baby at that house. I mean, that would be my
Yeah.
opinion. That's the
Well,
last
okay.
place any baby needs to be.
This is something that I've been like, I wish that people could understand, but I definitely, it is a very complicated issue.
Mhm.
And so Bree is partially right. Again, I know people don't like to hear this, but there's a sort of a legal process, right? California is a unusual state in that they issue minute orders right after a hearing, and those are sort of like findings. Okay,
Right.
so most states don't do this because most states have what's called an FTR, or for the record, or some type of reporting. And so attorneys can then reference the recording and then make an order based on the findings. So a minute order is actually not enforceable. Unfortunately for 2K, I think he experienced that. His attorney took over a week to submit the proposed order, and she only submitted the proposed order the day that Bree went to California, and so it took a while. It seemed like it took
Yeah.
forever, right, to get an order that was signed and to get something to help the baby. And part of that is because that minute order, although it is valid if there were to have been a contempt, or is totally valid, it just isn't. It's not enforceable as
Right.
a minute order.
Mm-hmm.
And so what occurred on, I think it was like March 24th, there were several orders that were put in. So there was the order for, an enforceable order of the parenting time is only to occur in Texas. And here's what's really interesting about that proposed order. I'm not sure if it was signed or not, the first one that was submitted, but Bree actually signed an agreement. So she signed it. So what happens is both parties can say, okay, we agree to this form of order. So in other words, we agree that this, matches the minute order, basically. And in that proposed order, 2K's attorney said that 2K would have sole legal custody, and Bree signed it. Now, I don't
Oh.
know if the judge signed that proposed order or not, because then they also appeared and then they received the abduction orders, which are different, and they're overriding. But in those abduction orders, it doesn't say that he has sole legal custody. So it's still kind of this really weird case. And part of
Yeah.
it's because procedurally, in my opinion, the attorney's not. Anyway, I hope
It
2K is
seems
not
like there's
watching
a
this,
lot of
but
yeah, it seems like there's like a lot of misinformation there then that the information that comes out on the minute order is not the same that's coming out on the signed order, but we know the signed order is what takes precedence. And then I'm wondering if some of that stuff was maybe left off because they go to court on the April 25th for their final order.
yeah, they're
Yeah, so
not going to get a
I'm
final order on that date either. By the way,
yeah.
this is going to be a long trial. They're going to have continuances, so they're going to go on the 25th. They're not going to be able to present the entire case just because there's the sheer volume of evidence. It'll probably be like 4 to 5 days. It may eventually be that the judge says that all of their evidence is cumulative. They don't need to hear anymore.
Even if this is their second, this is day 3. So John's already done his whole case, and he's rested, and so now this is just her time to present. Do you think they'll still extend it out?
That's not my understanding of the procedural posture of the case, but my understanding is that they had a hearing on temporary orders.
But October 30th and 31st was the first 2 days of trial. They were hoping to have it finished, to have final custody done then. But John's case took, his case chief took up that whole time. So then they extended out. They gave them 6 months to go to April 25th, and then that was put in back then in the October orders. It says April 25th is the final day of because Bree had came on too and said that they asked her how long that she would need to present her case, how, what was her witness list, all of that type of stuff. And then the 25th is when she has her time to present her case, but she doesn't even have an attorney yet, so I don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah. She's toast, but she's totally toast.
I keep getting this question that I'm gonna let you go on really fast. Several people have asked if you were in her area, would you take on her case?
No.
Okay.
No, but I'll tell you why. There is just way too much, and I don't have the bandwidth to do it. And my retainer would be probably over $20,000 for her. And that's what I was going to say about this whole situation. And I know there's a lot of people who hate attorneys. It's not because I just want money. It's because the amount of time to review everything in that case would be astounding. But also, so I do actually specialize in taking really challenging cases. I take a lot of the cases that many attorneys in our area don't take. But I have caveats with that. Like, most of my clients, I have them be in DBT therapy because it's like court, recognized gold standard therapy. People can disagree or agree. It's just the courts like to see this. They know that it works in some form or fashion. So I require my clients to, participate in that. I require, she would not be able to be online like this. I mean, and I don't think she could do that. And I think she'll have that problem with any other attorney who, she won't be able to find one. I can tell you that right now.
And do you think that the judges would give her an extension?
No.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Because she keeps saying, she's been saying this since February. She's like, I don't know why you guys are excited for April, because I'm going to hire an attorney in the beginning of April. They're not going to have a choice. He's going to get continuance because I have new representation. I'm like, it doesn't work that way, especially if you're on here 2 months in advance bragging about that's your plan. And now it's to go into a mental health facility to try to get the help, to try to get it extend. I'm like, but you keep putting it all out onto the internet to say that you're going to do it, so it's not gonna help.
Yeah, and I can almost I don't know. This is just my personal opinion. I don't know. This is like towing the line a little bit, but I would bet. I don't know if I should say this actually. That's okay. I would bet that the likelihood that her previous attorney withdrew because she had a large balance is high. So when we see all of this stuff about, her car being repossessed and, she's kind of losing everything, I think that's very real. And she does laugh it off, and she does, people do think that she's making a lot of money. I don't think that that's totally accurate. And she has a fee waiver on file. I'll just say that. It's public record, so she has a fee waiver on file. So she qualified. Yeah. So I think there's some serious financial challenges. Whether that's mismanagement of money, I don't know if it's something inappropriate. Use your imagination. I don't know what it is. But there is a financial issue here.
Hold on really fast. I want to answer this question. A fee waiver is when you put in a request to the court for you to basically get a free attorney because you cannot afford one. And that information came out, I think, in like November, December, that she had put that in to get a free attorney. Okay.
Well, it's actually, so it's also to reduce your court fees, because when you respond to a complaint, it costs money. And if you need to go and get copies of an order or something, it will cost you money unless you have a fee waiver on file, which she does have. So, in theory, she could go and get copies of all of her documents and not have to pay the fee. And so,
which is so funny because she keeps complaining that she's not getting them, and now she's ducking and dodging trying to be served. And again, I just don't grasp this. And again, I don't know if you know what I do, but I work with youth and young adults who are justice involved, right? So they're all either have served time or getting ready to serve time, or maybe just under investigation. And I tell them all, quit doing stuff or committing crimes while you're on live stream, and then it's a lot easier for us to help you. And so she's doing all of these things online, and put it out there. So this whole thing of, I grasp that, dodging service is not going to be punishable, but it's just crazy that she's talking about how she just keeps, she's in the house and the LAPD keeps coming to serve her and she's just hiding in their line saying she's not there, and then thinks it'll be so funny if they show up tonight. They're like, okay, well, you have to order a bottle service and do it on the sign that says you've been served. She's like, wouldn't that be so funny? Again, making such a mockery and a joke out of the entire judicial system, which I think is just absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it'll be a problem for her, but if she is able to get a good attorney, I think a good attorney could probably make an argument that this is all based out of trauma. For example, I have some clients that when they testify, they laugh. And it's really important to understand that they actually don't think it's funny,
Right.
that they're reliving trauma. And I think we can all acknowledge that Bree has had a substantial amount of trauma, regardless of if it's self-induced or, from upbringing or from whatever it may be. I think that's obvious. So I don't know that I would take her laughing and mocking as being like a true mockery of the system so much as it is she's absolutely terrified, and she truly has nobody in her court. These people who she's around don't care about her at all.
At all.
And she knows that. And I think that's really sad. That's a sad and harsh reality. She has nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have her child. She doesn't have family. That's obvious. I know she's saying that she does, but it's very clear she does not. And, that's a tough spot to be in, and I struggle with having empathy for her because I still think that there's choices. Well, I take that back. I have empathy, but, there's choices that she can make to get herself out of this situation, but they're not fun, right?
Right.
It looks like going into a shelter or getting a job, which we all know she doesn't want to do. So I struggle with this, like, okay, I get where you're at. There's a desperation. I know a lot of people are asking about the service. So if she had an attorney, I think an attorney could make a good argument about lack of service, but to everybody's point, she's been posting about it. And the reality of the laws regarding service is the intent. And what people sometimes don't understand is that actual intent of a law is important in court. And the intent is notice. So the intent is that you are aware that something is occurring. And she's made it clear that she is aware. So it would be tough, but I actually even think that the electronic service may not be. I looked at the withdrawal of her original attorney because I'm sure her original attorney had accepted e-service.
That's what I was wondering, if at one point that she had accepted e-service, and if that's why it was good. Just really fast, for those of you guys coming in, this is AA Law Talk, and she's actually a family law attorney that practices in California. So she's coming on and she's given us, answering some of our questions that, we've kind of had, and given us some information in regards to the whole case. So as I see questions pop up, she's either answering them or I'll room to, but she's right now just kind of going through and giving us some good service. What's e-service? Meaning you don't have to be served, you don't have to be served by paper. It can be served through email. Okay, sorry, go on. I just want to make sure everyone knew what was going on as they came in.
Yeah, no. So when I looked at, sometimes in a withdrawal, when an attorney withdraws, they will say, here is the service information for, the self-represented litigant, in this case, Bree. And I didn't see that actually in the withdrawal. I think it's possible that the opposing counsel maybe thinks that that's still, valid. Yeah. But I mean, we can't deny that she absolutely is aware that these things
right, because she's getting them. Right, she's getting them in her email because she keeps reading them.
Right.
From her email. And then when she tried to say that she didn't get the order that she had to drop off at the police station at noon, she said, "Oh well, I lost that phone, and so I didn't get that information." But we do know that she did get it because she read it, and she said that she couldn't go at noon because it was nap time. And then she said, "Well, I can't go. He should have picked a police station closer." And I've said a million times, and no one's. I'm again pro child. I want what's best for the child, and I do fully believe that every child needs to have both parents in their life if both parents want to be in their life, and if both parents are in the right frame of mind and can provide them a good, happy, healthy home. And I think that Brie really needs to get some serious help. She needs to check herself into a facility, and when she's ready, because if she's just doing it right now just to kind of show, okay, I just did it, it's not, she's going to gain nothing from it, because we can't actually really get help until we actually really want help. We have to want it. And I think that that's my opinion on where she's at, but hopefully she can get it eventually. In time she can get the help and maybe be a better mom. What's your opinion on like just her lack of can you guys keep tapping the screen? You guys never have to get, but if you guys can just tap the screen so we don't get a block again. I see it pausing. Like her lack of just disconnect, it seems like. Thank you, Carmen. Of disconnect, she seems like she just doesn't have that natural motherly connection or bond with him.
Yeah. So um I think that that is a trauma response, and I'm not going to say it's not 2K's fault, but I would say it is a result of the circumstances, right? Um, sh- think about it as, for those of you who are parents, right? And I can speak on this because of my work with dependency, where CPS will come in and actually take children, and parents have two options in those cases, right? It's you either go 100% and you are charging forward and you're going to do whatever it takes to get your kids back, which is the right choice. Well, I don't want to say this is the wrong choice because I think it's just dealing with it, but it is the wrong choice, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So in this case, I think that she's chosen to detach, because how can you possibly remain attached in the situation that you're in, currently actively not making wise choices to get your child back or to even just get parent? She will never. So here's the other thing, is she will never get him back. Like, this is it. And so the constant, oh well, this is just temporary, that's actually not a thing.
Right.
This is it. In fact, I think that maybe if other people on this live have been in family court themselves, it's sort of like a known thing. If you can get something on a temporary order, that's more than likely what it's going to be when you have your final judgment. Now, this case is unique in that it has spiraled. Well, I guess it's not unique, but it has completely spiraled out of control, and it has completely taken a different track than I think anybody could have really anticipated. The depth of a hole that she would have to crawl out of. So I think her best bet is to get a sort of step-up plan, and it'll include a substantial amount of time with supervised parenting time. It'll be a phased up approach, I'm assuming, and it will be, like if there's a mess up, you go back to phase one type of thing. I think that's her best bet. She will absolutely not get legal custody. Probably not even joint legal custody. And yeah, it's unfortunate for her. I think it is best for the baby at this point, but yeah.
I agree, and that's what I've been saying too. I've been kind of, but again, I'm not an attorney, and I'm not in California. Just from my experience of like watching it, that's kind of what I said too. Is that he would get my thought is that he would get full sole legal custody at the case, and then typically I know, at least in my state, what they do is they start with FaceTime calls. So you get like an hour-long FaceTime call once a week, and then as long as you make them for however long and those go good, then they will bump it up to like twice a week, and as long as you do good for so long, then they bump it up and go from there. And if you miss or you mess up, you go all the way back to the beginning. So Um,
Yeah, it's really sad. There is one other thing that is really driving me nuts about this case is the amount of people that understandably are so frustrated that she was not arrested or that something didn't happen. But this is not something that often gets prosecuted. And so what it would be, it's actually I think in Texas it's parental kidnapping, in California it's custodial interference. And both of those charges are felony charges. But what is important to note is that at the time that this happened, they both had joint legal custody, which essentially nulls out either of those options.
right.
And that's another reason why it took so long to correct the issue. So I saw a question on here a minute ago. Is will she be arrested for this or what happened? And the answer is
No.
95% unlikely
Yeah.
that she would ever face charges. Now she will never have unsupervised visits until she could show she could follow a court order. That is 100%.
Yeah.
So
And you guys, jail time is not always the best answer, right? Like when I grasp people break the laws and there's consequences to her actions. Do I think that Bree would gain anything, gain any insight, gain any, more knowledge or whatever from going to jail for a certain amount of time? No. I really don't. Now, it would be different if they were maybe to order her to seek the different help. But again, she has to want those help. And they have, from my understanding, ordered her to do the parenting class and also the high conflict resolution co-parenting class. And she still hasn't done those. So we see that she's not really paying much attention to the order. She doesn't really care. So whether they order them or not, I think where it's going to hurt her worst or the most is the fact that she's not ever going to, at least for who knows how long, a long time, she's not going to have unsupervised visits and just be able to be alone. And I think she knows that because that was I think the one true moment that we really got to see a robbery was that night when she said, I just wanted this one last night. I just wanted to hold him
yeah.
one time. I just wanted to sleep next to him and give him kisses one more time. So it was almost like that was her time, like her saying goodbye. Because by the time the next day came and it was ready to give him back, she was completely detached. Again, she was just like there was no emotion at all giving him Brie or giving him 2K or sorry, giving baby 2K, baby W to 2K. There was no emotion, and maybe that again because I noticed that she likes to play victim. That maybe instead of because this is what I've been saying. I don't know if you've heard me say this, but I said what would have been best for her, in my opinion, for the whole situation, if she would have just went to 2K and said, "Listen, I have stuff going on. I am not in the right place. If I give you full custody right now, let me figure this stuff out and just promise me that you'll give me when I'm better, even if it takes 2 3 years, at least give me a chance and send me pictures or send me updates every a couple times a year or whatever the case may be." I feel like John would have done that. They could have skipped going through the whole court thing potentially, and things would have been better. But again, she likes to, in my opinion, she likes to play victim. So I feel like that, in a sense, this was her way of making sure she's not going to have any custody again. She got that time. She said she just wanted to hold him one more time. She wanted to snuggle with him through the night, even though she left him that night to go out partying. But nonetheless, and then handed him over, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, all of my cases would go that way, right? One party would be like, oh, yeah, I see that this is best for the child. And I think it is important that whether or not any allegations that she has ever made, which I'm not even going to repeat, but whether or not they are true or not, it is obviously not a safe space for her to go to him and say, hey, can we work this out? Again, true or not, right? In her own mind, well or not, right? So I can understand why she didn't. Do I think it's right? No. But I can understand that just not feeling safe to do that. And I think there's a lot of risk and vulnerability that comes with that. And I think we see displayed on these crazy lives that she cannot be vulnerable. Otherwise, it just goes down from there. I mean, you could see it too when those TTSs were going off of pretending like, the comments were the baby. She was really struggling with that because it's hard to disconnect from that, right? When you're hearing those words being on loud screen,
Yeah.
which is so chaotic anyway. But
I couldn't believe she did that. I mean, I don't know why. I'm shocked by it, but just stacking baby W stacking him up on a bed in front of all those people he doesn't know, in front of bright lights, and then just have it. It causes me, during that short time that I watched, it caused me anxiety. All that yelling of all of that stuff. Like, I just can't imagine being a small baby and he hadn't seen his mom in 2 months. The stress and the trauma that kid went through, and that was
horrifying. That was absolutely horrifying. I mean, I could not. I mean, I was crying. I think you made a video, maybe it was on one of your lives or something, but you were almost also in tears talking,
absolutely,
or maybe you were even. I mean,
absolutely.
It was truly. I mean, it was like one of those moments out, not even out of a movie. I don't even think a director could have thought of that. I mean, it was. I cannot imagine being a baby and hearing just this weird, electronic voice out of the surround sound with all these random strangers in a house where everybody's partying and loud. And I know 2K says he wasn't calm, but he was.
Yeah, calmer than most, because I would.
Yes. Even if he was able to hide it, even if it was hidden,
And now we're in a situation, look, with Stella doing the same thing with her baby. And have you heard some of the comments that have been made about her baby?
Which ones? I've heard some. I'm not familiar with her case or her situation at all. I've been following, the 2K and Bree case just because it's out of my, one of my counties, and
right.
But what comment? The comments I heard are from the people in the house saying stuff about the baby and diapers and.
Okay, so just a quick rundown. So Stella 1 is not even allowed to be alone with her child. There's a whole conservatorship. She's under conservatorship. She's not supposed to be with the child at all. Without I think Owen or her mom or somebody else being there. There's only certain people that are allowed to be there. So I'm not sure how this whole thing happened. But I'll have to be TikTok friendly about it. But she's doing the same thing, right? Almost putting them up on display. And of course, we know all of the horrible traffic in LA, the allegations that are going on from there. But when I heard today, they had on a table, they have this bowl or something. It has like these decorative, like little wooden woven balls. And someone said on TTS, they're like, oh, she handles those balls so well. I would like her to handle mine for how much money.
No way. Oh,
and then
no.
And then another one said, wow, she looks nice and tight. How much for both of you?
Stop it. Oh, my gosh.
He says, how much for both of y'all fly you out? Someone says, send the ticket. And there's multiple. It happens all day. Someone asked for her to send a bathing suit to put her in the bathing suit. Stella's baby ends up in a bathing suit on the thing. It's sick.
What's so sick actually about that is yes, that situation as an isolated event is absolutely disgusting. But what's even more, I would say, disgusting is the fact that nobody can do anything until she gets on the flight, or until until something happens. Like, oh, and it's so disgusting. But this is why people shouldn't be on Kick. And I just want to applaud also 2K for that. I think that was a very wise, smart decision. But yeah, that's horrible. I can't even. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And apparently Kick is known for that type of stuff, and we know that the people that own the house are known and okay for that. Have people around them have served time for that certain stuff. I don't know why Owen, the child's dad, has not come and picked the baby up yet. And then right before I came on stream, the baby's almost 2, and she feeds almost everything out of the to the baby out of a bottle still, but she only has one bottle, and that bottle was so disgustingly dirty. And she's like, "Oh well," because she didn't have a bottle cleaner, so she just kept spraying stuff in like water and shaking it up, trying to get it clean. And the nipple was clogged, and she's like, "Oh well," and she just hands her a bottle, and the
Oh
baby
my
is
gosh.
always either in a stroller in the house, in a car seat, or in the high chair, or propped up in front of the camera with the pillows around her, and she keeps rolling off the bed. It's a horrible situation, and calls have been made
Wow.
and nothing's being done. It's just
Well, it's so tough in cases like that, though. I do see a lot of the comments asking about CPS in both Bree and Stella, and also I see the valet comments too about CPS. But so the the thing about, and just based on what you said with the situation on for Stella, is that she already doesn't have custody, and so who like essentially, right, like CPS gets involved removing custody and then taking and then putting placement, right? So there's custody that goes to the state, and then placement, physical placement that would go to like, a foster care or something like, or a parent or another parent or a family member. Um, and in this case, she already doesn't have custody. And I
mhm.
don't know what jurisdiction. Is it Florida? Is she a Florida girl?
Yeah, she's out of
Yeah.
Florida.
So it would have to be, so then it would take, it's just a long process, right? Like Florida CPS would have to contact California CPS, and then it's like this the whole thing. Um, uh, it's really complicated. I would say that that constitutes neglect, but probably not to the level of CPS involvement, but definitely to a level of family court involvement. But she already doesn't have custody. Who's letting her have the baby there?
I have no idea. Apparently, she flew out to Florida when the baby was visiting her mom or somebody. The baby's dad wasn't there, and she just grabbed the baby and got on a plane. And then the baby's dad, did a video where he was landing in LA. He's like, "Daddy's coming," but no, he was there for work. He picked the baby up for a few hours and then dropped the baby right back off, and it just the whole thing. Oh, so it's Stella's mom that has custody of the baby. Yeah, they need to do something then to try to fight to get the baby back. If they're the ones that have custody, then it's gonna be have to be her parents that do whatever. I have a
And
feeling
see
they're
that
actually going to get
that
ready to kick her out.
if she didn't come back, when if her mom had requested for the baby to come back, that is custodial interference.
Mm-hmm.
That is a criminal. That is police involvement. If she's refusing to return the child, I'm just wondering if the mom allowed this to happen. Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't. That's so bizarre. And
Yeah.
then with regard to CPS and Bree, uh, what we saw was horrifying, and it was certainly emotional abuse, and it was certainly a level of neglect. But it's CPS is not meant to come in those situations. They're meant to come in when a baby's like really seriously being, guys, like grotesquely abused. I mean, it's not, they're not meant to step in the fray, especially when there's an active custody case going on
Mm-hmm.
and she has very limited time already. It's CPS would look at the case and be like, it's already being handled. I know that that sucks. I know that that's not the way the system should work, um, but it is the way it works. So,
Yeah, that's what I was telling them because when they kept asking me, and I'm like, no, I said there's nothing CPS is going to be able to do because one, he has primary custody. They're in the midst of now that she's flown out there, he's already handling everything. CPS wouldn't have been able to do anything as quickly as he was able to get them done, and then file it on what, like you said. So I don't know. The whole thing it is just it's just a lot. But I'm so glad that of everyone, you were one of the ones that came up and was able to answer a lot of people's questions because people are very concerned and have questions. Oh, they're asking about valet. No,
I know
good.
I see them all, but
Yeah,
that's
valet's
a
in,
that's a
yeah,
that's a
valet's a great
cluster.
Yeah, that's
I just,
your opinion on that. I mean, this is what I said. I said you ding dong ditched your kid, and then you left and you didn't see them for months. Then when you did come back, you called to ask if you could see them. You were told no. You then cased the joint to make sure nobody was there. You set the entire thing up. You come into the house. The mom, let you say goodbye to the kids. She tried to coerce the grandma out of the house or out of the room twice to take the baby. But then you tried to nap the kid again, and then a whole fight breaks out. She is going to have, in my opinion, but we'll let her answer too. My opinion, she is going to have a fight on her hands to be able to get any type of physical custody back. It's going to take some time. That's my opinion. What's yours?
okay. So I don't practice in Texas, but you guys may be surprised if she ends up getting custody. And I will explain why I think it's a very slim possibility. Very slim. But I have so many questions for me to even formulate a true opinion. So this is just based on possibilities. I actually do not think that the father in that case has established any sort of paternity. So my understanding is that he wasn't at the birth of the second baby. Um, and I believe he was under 18 with the first baby. And again, I don't practice in Texas, so it could be different. I did some research on it in the very beginning because I was actually concerned that if she did go and if he did let her take them, that he would not get them back. So I actually did a little bit of research in the very beginning when she was talking about coming back to see the baby because I was like, oh my gosh, he has to file something to establish his paternity. And I know there's a lot of people that think, oh, and in Texas it's 50-50 and in Texas it's this but their situation is unique in that they were never married. I don't know if he ever signed an acknowledgement of paternity. I honestly don't think he did. He's young, he's very young. And so there may be a possibility just by sheer luck on her part. But because she completely abandoned them, I certainly hope that a court would very, very promptly step in and say no. But she would be one to likely get, normal parenting time, probably in Texas. Texas won't release any jurisdiction, I'm sure. So she won't be bringing those babies to California.
Mhm.
Unless she did, like, I don't know, if she decided to go down in flames like her old pal. So
Yeah, and I think she said that she wants to do 50-50 custody in Texas, where she would go to Texas for 2 weeks out of the month and do visitation, and then she would come back to California. Now, I think if she did that, and they write that all up, I think that there could be a possibility, especially because there was no custody order, and that's I don't know about in Texas. I know here, if there's no custody order, it's whoever files for it first and who has them who gets it. And so that's where if there's no paternity of acknowledgement of paternity and no custody, that there could be some wiggle room in there. So it'll be
yeah,
interesting. But she's already trying to get pregnant a third, again now. It's just a mess. I think they're not.
that would be terrifying if she
Yeah,
did that. I don't know what is going on with that whole house, and
I think they're
I'm
just not
laughing. I'm
thinking
not.
right.
It's not funny. It's just. It's almost. It's like such a twilight zone. It's nothing I've seen before, and I have some very unsophisticated clients and some very sophisticated ones. I've never seen anything like this. So you know,
Yeah, it's
I
it
don't
is
know.
it is absolutely a lot. That is for sure. I don't
And
know.
somebody asked if Bree has to be there in person. Yes, yes,
For
they
the
both do. Yeah, in April.
and so in April, so since this is again, unless anything has changed with all of the omission or with all the um motions filed, if she does not show up, then it's just signed on how it's wanted, right? And that's the end.
That's possible. I mean, some judges give a lot of chances, which makes people upset. But it's I don't even want to speak it because I don't want her to
We
get
love
word of
talking
it.
into
But
existence.
yeah.
And
But
child
yeah,
support, there's a, what do you think for child support? Would she be required to pay child support?
yes, yes. I don't know how much he could prove her income. I don't know what discovery looks like. I don't know if she's been in compliance with discovery. It's not likely. Um, I also think that that's probably part of the reason why these guys are managing her money. You know, a lot of people are noticing that she has to ask for money.
Yeah.
It doesn't go to her name, so it's almost impossible to prove that she's earning any income, but at the very least, it'll be assessed. Um, his 2K's attorney can make a case, right? She's on private jets. She's wearing Rolexes. I mean, we haven't seen much of that lately, though. But she's living in this mansion. I mean, I don't know that she is sophisticated enough to make her own argument that that's that she's not paying for it or whatever it may be. So it'll be interesting. At the very least, it'll probably be calculated at full-time minimum wage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And even if, at least I know in my state, even if the father was to say, um, I don't want child support. I know in my state it's still granted, and they always tell them, hey, what you choose to do with it. If you don't want it, put it all into an account for the child. If you want to, give it back, give it back if that's what you want to do. But each parent it has an obligation to a child that you both created. That's how it's always worked.
Yeah, I don't think in California they would let him waive it because it's not for him, it's for the baby. So
Right,
I don't
that's what
know
I'm
that
saying.
he
But we
could
can't do
waive
that here,
the,
though.
yeah. But somebody asked about wouldn't she have a 1099, but I think that that's what is important is that she's not getting the 1099. It would be like Jordan or Etai or one of these other people who are like, I'm doing air quotes, but you guys can't see me, like, who are managing her
Yeah.
money. That's so they're the ones that are getting the 1099s.
Even though it's in
Um,
her name, because even like her kick is in her name. Or at least, let me rephrase, her screen name is in it. And apparently, they made $500,000 that day that Baby W was there.
oh yeah, it just depends on the back end though, right? Like the screen name could be in any different.
Yeah, true.
The payment can actually go to any different legal company, so he'll get something. Will it be an appropriate amount? No. But I think he already knows that, and I think he's already kind of gearing up for that. I'm sure his attorney's probably already told him. Um, she won't. The California court, somebody asked if she'll have to pay his legal fees. It's not likely. California hates to do that, especially if she has a fee waiver. Um, it's not likely.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a mess. I feel so bad for the baby, of course, and I feel very bad for Bree. I also I feel similarly for 2K and his family. I think what we saw about 2K's response was very real and raw. Right? Like the day before was sort of not the high, but like the adrenaline, so much adrenaline. You've got so much going on, and so many people are there to support you, which is great. But it's like you're really up on a mountain, right? You're doing whatever you can. You're completely disassociated. You just want to get your child out of that situation, and it's complete chaos. It's like nothing you've ever seen or experienced before, and then there's the come down, right? Is from all of that, and I think it was very real and raw what we saw from him after that too. So it'll be tough. It'll be a tough road. Um,
When he was saying, like, when he got back home, he was like, I'm just sick. Like I said, I think he's kind of like me in that situation, like in the heat of the moment when shit's going crazy. I'm always calm, cool, and collected. It's after everything is all settled and done and whatnot. That's kind of when I have my moment, and that's what he said. He's kind of been off because he's like, I just feel horrible. My body is just shutting down from everything. He's like, now it's plain in my mind, in fact, of what everything happened. And I think he's really struggling about all the stuff that happened on Kick and the comments, the sexual comments that were made, in regards to Baby W, and were just, laughed at and whatnot, people. And it's just, it's crazy. It's sick. I just
it's
don't know
absolutely traumatizing.
how anybody, any adult, whether you're the parent or not, could even hear that about a child and let it continue. But not only did they let it continue, they upped the amount to make a comment, right? So at first it was like you could pay $1 to make a comment, and then they were flying, and then they made it to $5. Eventually they put it up to $50 to make comments. Then they put it
That's
down back down to $25, and people are, yeah. I mean, Stella even mentioned at one time that she would, um, there was a, how can I say this? That she would, for the right price for her daughter, you know?
make the child available.
Right.
Oh wow.
It's sick, and the videos are out there, and Kick is allowing it. And hats off to 2K, because as soon as he found out, he instantly pulled out of Kick. Said, "I'm unfollowing them. I absolutely want nothing to do with it. I cannot go on a platform where," and let me say allegedly, with the whole, even though I heard it myself, I'm going to say allegedly with Stella. But yeah, he went on, and said once he's like, "I can't go onto a platform that monetized and allowed a crime to happen, and is continuing to film children in this way." And then when you actually, if you do some digging on Kick, allegedly, that's they're known for this, and that's where P3dos go to get information, and their content is from there. So the way that they're just, to me, that they're just placed right front and center with the pillows around them, almost like they're just placed on a pedestal for people as a viewing. It's sickening to me.
It's absolutely terrible. And as much as, it has to be the responsibility of the person that's putting the child in front of the camera on the stream. It can't be the responsibility of the company, because they can't, I mean, they could, I guess, in theory, remove it, but I mean, it's the parents' fault, right? I mean, this is it's just such a mess. I can't believe that people do these things to their kids. I mean, I see it, but it's just, and I feel like there's been such a shift the last 5 years, where now it's so this online heavy. Attorneys have really had to shift legal argument. I mean, and the laws have not caught up to all of this either. So it's so nuanced. I mean,
Right.
to get the first attorney, or not the first attorney, but the first judge, was an older man. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about TikTok. He doesn't know anything about any of this stuff, So you come in with a bunch of, I mean, that's why 2K said, or somebody said, that his attorney was transcribing, because it's just so misunderstood, in the law and in courts. And there's been an uptick in having to, figure out how to get this information on the record in an understandable and digestible way,
Yeah.
So it's wild. And Bree's defense, everybody, is likely going to be, I don't know for sure, of course, but is likely going to be that, it's just a persona. It's just an online persona. It's not really what I feel. It's not really what I'm doing. I mean, that's not going to work for her. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know. It's just such a mess. But I don't know. Here's the thing too, is, there's this current restraining order that was issued and hasn't been served. I don't think it really even matters at this point. I'll just be really honest.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not going to go to Texas to exercise any of the supervised parenting time, which is already ordered as supervised. So what? She can call the pediatrician. Is she? Probably
Right.
not. You know what I mean? Like, she's probably not. And if she does, what information is she going to get that she's going to be able to use? I mean,
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I just can't see her even making the effort. She's made it very clear, by showing us her actions. Actions always speak louder than words. I, as a mom of 4 kids who are adults now, and I have 6 grandkids, I would be devastated if that ever happened. And literally right after it happened, after she was done, making little comments, walking up the hill, she's like, "Oh, now I can't get drunk tonight." That was her first thought. And again, Yes, could those be defensive mechanisms? Yes, but that has continued, and again, they live stream 24/7, so it's not like, we haven't seen stuff, and it's just all about partying, and I just want her to get it all out of her system, get it over with, and get the help she needs and find time, and maybe before winter's 3 or 4, all that will be over, and because he really won't remember too much this time, and then they can start to build that relationship. John has always made it very clear that he wants her in his life, but again, he has safety first. His safety has to be there.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. And, you know, I don't, what she has to do though is she has to address the trauma. And she's going to have, regardless of if anybody, regardless if it's real or not, it is for her. And that's the core of this whole issue, and as long as it remains, she's just so out of touch with reality too. Did you watch the single mom attorney, who, by the way, she's blocked me because I believe that was her on that call. But anyway, I
She's
watched.
the one. She's the one that got me bananaed for
Oh,
24 hours because I called
okay.
her out. And yeah, I went over
Well,
and
let
I
me say a
commented.
positive thing.
Yeah,
So
okay.
she doesn't banana you. I
Yes.
did really like her podcast. Okay, guys, I really loved it. But what was so interesting about it, she blocked me because I do believe it was her on the phone. I believe it
100%
was
was
her.
her.
But anyway, um, the nuance in the language and the way she says the L's, and anyway, I won't go down into all
Yeah.
that. One of the questions that she asked Bree was, well, what's your ideal schedule? And she was like, oh, 3 months here, 3 months there. And I'm like, you are just so out of touch with just reality,
Yeah.
And anyway, it's like, well, what? And then I think the follow up question was, what are you going to do during school? And she's like, well, I don't know. When do they even start school? And I just am like, oh,
Uh,
that's not what you want to show to court. I mean, I think it
right.
was I did think that she did a very good job on that. So I'll give the props there. It
Yeah.
was a very good, I feel like she wasn't attacked, like Bree wasn't attacked. It was very tactical questions that, she couldn't answer, of course.
Yeah.
But that just really highlighted for me, like, I think, okay, if everything else is a persona and this is real, I mean, you also can't go to court with that either, because
Right.
like, what are
And
you going to do to figure it out?
yeah, and then I think again, and to shout out the single mom attorney because she wasn't going to post it. I commented and she was like, "Well, I think it's so funny that you talk crap, but now you want to know." And I said, "No, I'm genuinely curious because you're the one person, right, that she has agreed to go on to that I feel like could really maybe potentially help her. You missing out on a golden opportunity." She removed my comment. I made a video about it, and then we were going live about it, and then she comments back and says, "Well, I got a good insight, but the internet will never that the internet couldn't comprehend." And I'm like, "So you're saying we're all idiots? Like let us be the judge to that." So long story short, 20 minutes after I made the comment, she posted the podcast.
Oh,
I watched the podcast, and I actually think she did a great job. I think there were some things that I was worried about because she had said that she wasn't going to bring up John or Baby W, and I was like, wait a minute, what the hell? What's the purpose? That's the whole purpose of it. And then when she would ask things, I liked that she didn't just stop. She dove into him. When she asked about why she didn't go to court, she's like, "Oh, I just overslept." She's like, "What? Like what? Well, how did you think that you were going to, move forward?" Or like the whole thing with the kids and when the amount of time, like what was the right time? And she's like, "Oh well, John and I have to talk about it." She's like, "I'm not asking about him. I'm asking you." What? So I was very happy that she did that. That she pressed no. What do you want? And Brie was really clueless as to what she wanted. I don't think she really knew what she wanted. I
well,
think
she
she was.
doesn't. Yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't know. She doesn't know what she wants. She doesn't know what's good for the baby. She doesn't know when they start school, which I understand, right? I get being a first time mom, but that's not actually an excuse in court. You have the baby,
Right.
um, maybe not physically in your care, but you should go to court saying, this is the school I want my child to go to when they turn 5. This is
Right.
the
I mean, she's
preschool I want them to go to when they
yeah.
turn 3. Like, this is,
She
these
always
are their
uses
shots that they need at
yeah.
these age, like,
She always
this is
uses the excuse, I'm a young mom. You're 24. You're about to be 25. You're not that young. Like, people, this common sense, people know kids go to school at, they start kindergarten at 5, so she uses that excuse a lot. That's not going to work. And if you didn't know, you now have a child, you should know. You
right.
should be
Yeah.
searching and looking at those things up.
Yes. I mean, anyway, there's a lot of challenges there for her. I think that, it's over for her essentially.
Yeah.
So, I do wonder if, there will even be an appearance,
Me too.
in April. I mean, I hope she
So,
does. Like I said, I think if she does, she'll probably just get a phased approach. Actually, I hope that his attorney's offering that so that they don't even have to go. But this is the beef that I have with his attorney. I'm just going to really, is like, why would they even file the RO? Like, why? It's already supervised visit. There's already an abduction order, which is a huge deal. Like,
right.
that's a big deal. Why spend the extra money and the extra time? This is where attorneys get bad reps, right? Because there's seriously zero purpose in it. There's no purpose in it.
Yeah, people are asking, but I haven't seen it yet, and I never address things on my channel until I actually
I
physically
mean,
have the records. And once I see them and I read them, then I'll make a statement on it. But I trust you because people are asking
I
me.
haven't seen it. Let me pull it up. I'm going to pull up their
Okay,
camera. I'm going to.
because I'm always like the only thing I can think of that one would even be granted for wouldn't be for John, but would be more so for baby W because of the actions. But again, I'm not in California, so I don't know.
I think that it was for, I don't know for sure. I actually just was hearing her read from it.
Mhm.
Um, Let me just log into my account.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
too. Seems
but
like it
yeah,
have to be for winter or for baby W.
yeah, it was to like restrict her access to doctors' offices and things like that. I think this is where I think he has an opportunity. Yes, they requested a restraining order. Let me see. Um, um,
Yeah,
oh,
you guys, that's what she's avoid being served on right now is the RO. And also, let me say, I don't know, and she could probably answer on this too. Just because one was requested, that doesn't mean that was John's idea either. I've had many clients come to me and be like, I don't know why this was even done. My attorney just said it needed to be filed. It's not what I wanted. It was just something that was done. So I don't know if the attorney suggested it. I don't know if John said, hey, we need to have this. I don't know.
I just pulled the document. I have it here. Um,
Yeah, she has to take him again.
it let's see. But here's the thing. This is where, yeah. Oh, oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's
oh,
trying. Sorry, it's not. It's for the baby and for grandma.
okay. Well, that
Um,
that that makes a little more sense with grandma because of all the threats that she makes against her on a daily basis. That would make sense.
Sorry, I was just reading through
No,
it.
you're good.
But yeah, I think. Wait a second. It looks like it was denied. Hold on.
Yeah, they're all public records, you guys. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, it's just unnecessary.
yeah,
Yeah, this was just unnecessary. And this is where I think attorneys do get a bad rap, okay? Because one, it's running up his bill, and two, it's just causing more drama. It's just more high conflict, which I think I put that in a comment on one of your videos. Is my issue with him is that he is, and I know people aren't going to like to hear this, but he is extremely high conflict. And so at this at this juncture, right, there's a decision that has to be made with your attorney, and it's, are you going to go balls to the wall, right, and you're just going to go keep going, and you're just going to keep piling it on, piling it on, piling it on. And he probably could, right, like he probably can, but
Right.
is it necessary? It's
Right.
really not. And
Yeah, at
it's
this
just
point, I
going to,
don't think so.
yeah, it's just going to be more problems for her, and it'll be more cost for him.
Yeah.
I mean, and these are not like, you have to appear in person. These are not like, you can't submit them online. You have to appear in person. And I think his attorney is in Orange County. So driving all the way up to LA, appearing in person, I mean, that's a lot of money just to get this when it's already.
Right.
Um, anyway, the stay away order was denied until hearing, which is on the 25th. Other orders were denied until hearing. Child custody and visitation denied until hearing. Um, protection of animals not requested. Control of property not requested. Health insurance not requested. Record communications was granted as followed. The person in 1 may record communications made by the person in 2 that violate this order. Okay, so he's allowed to record and probably submit it in court. So that's
Well, that's good.
easy. Property restraint denied until hearing. Paid debts owed for property denied until hearing. So it looks like everything was denied except for his ability to record. So I don't even know why she's avoiding service. That's dumb.
Yeah. And people are confused on why we say that it's not necessary. The reason why I think, and you can answer. The reason why we're saying it's not necessary is because he has full custody. She has no rights to the child at this time. Any visitation is going to be supervised. They're in different states, and they won't even see each other again until the final court hearing. I think it would be totally different if they were in the same state and she had a visitation coming up. Then I think it would be a different thing. Now I do get the one against Mama 2K that I could see. That one I could see requesting, because she does make threats against her all of the time. So that one I for sure I could see. But again, like she's saying, she's like, if the attorney requested it, then this is why attorneys can get bad rap, because they're requesting something that's not necessary, because again, she has no access to the child. She's not going to get the child again, and it's just going to cost him a bunch of money. So why make your client pay a bunch of money for something that's not needed?
Yeah, I might change my opinion on this. I think that the restraining order allows the police to step in quicker, and I think actually now that I'm just recalling, it's not in this order, but there might be a reason for it, being that she's said that she will take him from the supervisor. This
Oh,
would allow the police. So here's the other thing that's really complicated about this case and why move away cases are so challenging is there's a thing called the UCCJEA, which is what essentially determines only 2 states do not participate in the UCCJEA, which stands for the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction and Enforcement Act. And so the situation here is that California retains continuing and exclusive jurisdiction. So I know a lot of people are like, well, you don't know what's going on in Texas. You don't know Texas law. And I don't have to know, because all I know is the UCCJEA, and that California retains jurisdiction and will not release any jurisdiction until the final order. And then it's a whole process to then move the entire jurisdiction from one state to another. But what the UCCJEA does is it allows other jurisdictions to enforce an order, which is very complicated. So what he would have to do is he would have to register the judgment from California in Texas. And so that way Texas then generates an order that's in Texas form that allows the police to enforce in Texas this order. So it's a very, very complex, and he would have to have an attorney in Texas too, which I'm assuming is probably not the most reasonable right now. So it's possible that the restraining order would allow police to enforce quicker, but I still think it's going to be a problem if they're trying to enforce anything in Texas. But
that does make more sense though, and I'm glad that you know, as you read through that, you clarified that it does make a difference because of, that, she had made those statements about removing the child from visitation if she was to show up. And I think someone else just they were asking, was it, I think parts were denied and parts were not, am I correct?
Yeah, sorry, let me go back to that.
I did hear that, or some people said that she's actually going to be in Texas next week, so I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, honestly, it's just such a mess. But I'll tell you, people are going to get mad at me probably for saying this, but the order says that the supervised parenting time is to occur by mutual agreement. So it's possible that they don't have any mutual agreement on any parenting time.
Right.
I don't think that makes 2K look the best for court, but at the same time, if there's a substantial risk, which I think that there is, that mutual agreement can maybe not be made,
Yeah, well, and I think it wasn't supposed to be until, if I'm correct on the order that I had read before, that that will all come out in court. So there was not supposed to be any parenting time between this pickup and after court. And so that I would assume that that's why there's not going to be any mutually agreed upon visitation. That will be done at the April 25th court date.
I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't
really
remember
fast because I keep seeing this here for it says, will judge take the content house into consideration since she got her from I don't think so, because again, she's never going to be able to take the child to California or to her house again for who knows how many years. All her visitation is going to be done in Texas and be done by a professional supervised facility. So I'm not sure that maybe I don't think so.
I mean, it'll get brought up and it'll be taken into consideration, just that she shouldn't have parenting time in California until and that'll be likely a part of this sort of phased approach that I mentioned a while ago, that, phase one will be visits only in Texas by professional supervisor. And then it may go to, maybe parenting time in Texas unsupervised, or maybe just supervised transitions or something like that. And then possibly at some point having some parenting time in California. But there will certainly, I think that's where the content house comes into play, though, is in that, later down the road, what does that look like? And it'll likely say, she has to have a safe sleeping space, and, there will be parameters around that. So it'll be relevant just for the development of the future parenting plan, because the purpose of a final judgment is for it to be final. And of course there's modifications, but in order to modify, there has to be an unexpected change, and you can't, anyway, so you want to have a plan that's relevant, to the parties, and her inability to have stable housing is a big deal.
Right. Absolutely. They've already done the whole mediator part. It didn't work. That's why they're in the trial. And again, they've already had 2 days of trial, and that was October 30th, October 31st. So their last day of trial is April 25th. I did see that there was a hearing or something on May 2nd or May 3rd. I don't know what that was about.
I don't know what that's about either. I saw that too. I think it's for one or the other.
She hasn't shown up for anything to try to work through this. Again, I truly feel like a lot of the stuff she's doing is because she's just not ready to be a mom, but she doesn't want to say it because she's afraid it's going to look bad. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I don't know. But I feel like this stuff is making her look worse. Again, like I said in the beginning, it would have looked so much better if she would have just said, I'm not ready. I'm not in the best place, and I want to be the best mom, and I want to get there, but it's going to take me time to get there. So I'm going to give you full custody until then. But again, if we could all work like that, then we would need beautiful attorneys like AA Law Talk over here. So,
I mean, listen, I tried, but I piss people off too on the regular. But I hope so much. I hope so much that she addresses her core traumas and she allows herself to become vulnerable. But I don't see that happening. So unfortunately for the baby, I don't see there being any swift resolution here. But I think it is so beautiful that John has as much support as he does from his family, which is very evident.
Yes.
I take no issue that grandma has the baby, even if the grandma had baby 50, 60,
Yeah.
70, 80%. I take no issue with that at all.
No, it's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing.
Yeah. So, yes, it will. No, it won't be default. So somebody asked if could 2K win by default if she knows so. So default is a legal term, and so by default, no. But will he win? Yes. So default is a finding that a court makes where you don't make an appearance. And if you're found to be in default, then you don't have to be served for additional orders and things like that because you just didn't even show up. You didn't do anything. And she has made an appearance in the case, and an appearance is just like a response. And she's done that. So she's not in default technically, legally speaking, but he would get what he asked for.
Yeah.
If
So
she doesn't show up.
yeah, it'll be very interesting. Let's do a quick poll and see if you guys think. We'll do red, she'll show, blue, she won't. So red will she show on the 25th, blue, she will not. Let me see what you guys think. Red, she'll show for her court date, blue, she will not. I've been finding it interesting listening to Jordan over the last day talk about how he's finding out that, he's making himself look like a jackass because he's been believing everything she's saying, then come to find out it's all been lies. So the poll is, will she show to court on April 25th? Red, she'll show. Blue, she will not. So, oh my God, did that say what I think it just said? It's Coachella. Coachella week, I doubt. Dude, that's literally all she's been talking about is Coachella and what day Lady Gaga is going to be there. 10 seconds left. So it looks like will not show is going to be in the lead. We'll take it. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. And again, that's not a negative. We're pro-child. We just want what's best for the child. And ultimately what's best for the child is to have two happy, healthy parents and have a safe place to be. And if Bree is not yet in the right place to be that then this is the time for her to find that this isn't to say that she could never and she'll never be in baby W's life at all. That's everybody's hope. That's Joe's hope too, that he's always said that he just wants her to get better so that he can have his mom. But right now she's just not in the right frame to be a mom.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah, the family situation. That she just comes up with anything and everything she can to think that she'll throw stuff out there. Like I said, AA Law Talk. They go by so fast. The comments.
I know.
You helped.
I saw somebody talking about paternity, and I'm happy to address that. I know a lot of people think that because he signed the birth certificate that he's automatically the father, but that's not the case. Yeah. The court, he had to actually request that the court order that that parentage be established, and that was done. Let me see. That was done on January. Oops. When was that done? That was done on January. What's the date of this order? January 16th, 2025. He was ordered to be the legal father.
Alexis says, AA Law Talk, you helped a lot of us understand so much better, so thank you. So I want to make sure you get those kudos as well, because we definitely do appreciate, because again, I come on and I give my opinion, my side, but I'm not an attorney and I don't work in California, so it's always nice to have somebody come up. And I love to have great conversations with people that, maybe see things from a different perspective. I never want, a whole slew of people in here that all think the same way, because that's a quick conversation, like
Right.
I
Right.
I love for people to come in that maybe have a different perspective or a different way of, thought process, but if we can have a great conversation, as long as it's not disrespectful, it's not rude, and it's just conversations like this, I love to have those, because maybe somebody knows something that I don't know. So I'm so grateful and thankful to you for coming up and giving us all of this time. You came up to, you said you wanted to make a quick statement. Look, I practically attorney napped you for an hour and a half.
No, I mean, I am so grateful for your platform, by the way, too. I watch you all the time. I thought I was following you. I don't know why it says it's giving me the option to follow. I thought I was following you, but I love, your content. I disagree with you sometimes, but
That's
I
okay. I
overall
like it.
very much so love your
Yeah.
support of, especially the young, the young people that are having babies. It seems like all of them have them now.
Right.
And I love your support of them, and your platform is great too. And I'm glad that I was able to get up here, and I did want to provide a perspective. It's interesting too, because I have seen even some other attorneys that don't practice family law. They practice maybe just dependency, and it's such a different, it's a whole different set of laws, actually. And you would know this, Angie, actually, because you do a lot of the dependency stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we call it dependency here, no matter what. I think you guys do in Texas too, right? It's dependency court.
I'm not in Texas. I'm in Washington.
Oh, I'm sorry, in
Oh, you're
Washington.
good.
But it's called dependency in Washington too, actually. I'm also
Yeah.
licensed in Oregon, by the
Yeah.
way. So I'm licensed in 2 states. But yeah, so in dependency cases, I don't know why I thought you were in Texas. Wow. Anyway, but they're administrative rules. They're not even like actual laws. It's a whole different set of, they don't even have to follow evidence rules unless it's, that's a whole different beast. So I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of attorneys that are maybe in dependency or criminal defense, family law is a completely different world.
Absolutely.
So anyway, it's angering and maddening for a lot of people, but I'm glad I was able to provide some clarity, or I hope I was.
You
So
no, you did a lot. Really fast, Jay. No, even if she was to move out to Texas at this point, she had said too that at this point, they're going into final. It's going to take her a long time to get to the point where she may be able to have any type of custody. But again, we'll all find out April 25th. We're not the judges on this case, so, or the attorneys, and so at this point, she still does not have attorney. We did ask her. She said nope, she would not represent her. I think it's gonna be difficult for her to find someone to represent her, but
she is
we shall
not
see.
going to be able, I'm telling you. I mean, even I just stubbed my toe.
Oh, that's the
Even
worst.
if oh wow, that really hurt. Even she's not going to be able to find an attorney. Even if she could come up with 30-40 grand for a retainer, it's nobody. We are so busy, unfortunately, that there is no way that somebody's going to be able to take this magnitude of a case. That's all. And actually, Angie, I didn't quite realize that they had done the first 2 days and that 2K had rested. That'll be interesting procedurally to see how that actually unfolds. In fact, May 2nd may be for him to present on some of the, or not to present, but to have his case in chief heard on some of these other motions he's filed.
Yeah, I was wondering
That
that.
may be why, because certainly, I mean, attorneys don't like to jump in like that, where a case has already been heard, because you have to think about it. We in California, in Oregon, it's different. Oregon has recordings, so when I practiced in Oregon, I could easily step into the case half of the way through and just order all the FTRs and listen to it. But here they would have to transcribe, and I
Oh,
don't. Who knows if it was even on the record? It's on the record technically, but who knows if there was a court reporter? And the cost of that is astronomical. So anyway, that just makes it even more like,
wow.
it's really sad. I hope she shows up. I just hope she goes. And the judge will, if she is listening, or if anybody has any communication with her, if she just goes, the judge will give her grace and will let her talk. She doesn't have to know all the terms. She doesn't have to know, she just has to show up.
Right. You
That's it.
guys, I don't know everything, but I tell you guys some things. I told you guys if she doesn't have an attorney, she shows up. She at least has a chance to speak. She's going to have an opportunity to come in and rebut on some of the stuff that maybe that John had put out, and she's going to have a chance. The judge can't give her legal advice, but in a sense, sometimes they're kind of like, well, if it was, they'll kind of like give subtle hints in a sense, but she will have a chance to speak if she shows. If she doesn't, they're basically pretty much, I think, she'll be able to answer better. Go based off of the information they have and the new information that's come up and the new motions that have gone out. The abduction thing is, I mean, that's nail in the coffin. That's to me, that's Indian.
What I would do if I was in her position. I have to be careful, but is I would just show up and beg for mercy. That's it. I would say I messed up. I'm willing to do whatever is asked of me, and that's it. Like, I don't think they even need a full day. I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of story. you know. But anyway, I don't think she's going to show up. I think the chat agrees that she's not going to show up. We'll see.
Yeah.
People are asking about the Coogan law. It's not really relevant for her, unfortunately. Her content is not family content. So,
well, the reason why they brought it up is because John brought it up because of the amount of money that was made on Kick, and it was focused around Baby W. So he said that someone, I don't know who gave him the information, but he found out about the Coogan law. So he said that he was going to look into it and reach out to Kick or something, so that Baby W got his part that would go into a trust fund.
Yeah, I think he's this is where I'm saying, I said it a little bit ago. He has a choice, right? He can go balls to the wall, or he could just, take a couple seats, take some deep breaths, and just, when baby is safe right now, and that's what matters. And maybe let's hold off on plowing forward. I also heard something about defamation lawsuits. I hope that he doesn't do it against Bree right now. I don't want to say never.
I think that was against Lena.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's why he was originally out there.
Oh, okay.
Was to file that because she had made that statement of him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Actually, I do. Yes.
And then later said no. So that's what that case is about. Is about that.
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping it wasn't also with Bree, because I was like, again. I mean, yes, could he do it? Yes, and does he have every right to? Yes, absolutely. It's not, but as a strategic, just.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think you guys have to remember, too, at that time, can you guys imagine being out there? You think your son is in another state. You're working, you're doing whatever. You find out that the mother of your child took the child out of state. You don't know anything. So he probably said a lot of different things. And he said that he did. He's like, you guys all said I was calm, but I was freaking the fuck out. I was just saying everything. So he may have said that he was going to go after and do some things, and, he was probably going balls to the wall then. I think now that he's back and he's home, once he gets over his illness and he knows Winter's safe, I think things will kind of calm down. He's going to come to a realization, Winter's safe, I have full custody of Winter, she can't get him, everything is good, and I think things will die down. That's I don't know.
Yeah, and somebody asked about federal charges too, and the answer to that is no. It's not federal. The reason it's not federal is because of the UCCJEA. So states that participate in that, which is pretty much all of them, it's not, it doesn't turn federal, right? Like it remains a state's issue. So.
Yeah. All right.
But, yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to I'm gonna let you do your thing. I love listening. I'm just gonna if you're gonna stay on. I love listening to your voice. I do want to tell you that like your voice is just so peaceful to me. So I could listen to you all night long. So
That is, you know,
um,
I say this all of the time. I have always been, again, I was a cheerleader when I was young. My girls are cheerleaders. I coached cheerleading for 20 years. I am that loud, obnoxious mom at every. My son is 31. He still plays baseball. You would think he was still 7 and in little league because I'm still down there screaming and cheering. That's my baby. Like I'm just loud. And so when I started this, I hear all the time how peaceful and calming my voice is, and I'm like, mine? I've never heard that in my whole life. I always heard, oh, I heard you. I knew you were in the house because I heard your ass. Now, I doula for free on the side. So if a woman was say to, even if one of my clients just wanted a chance to have a doula because they're crazy expenses, I would do it. Or if a woman shows up at one of my local hospitals and has no support, they know that they can offer my service and I'll be there. Now, all of my patients, including my daughters, have said, I'm totally different. I'm very calm, cool. I have a very soft tone voice there. But besides that, I've never heard that my whole life. But people have reached out to me to do audiobooks, to do podcasts. They're like, your voice is so soothing. I'm like, since when?
it is. I don't know. It is, and
So
I love
funny.
it.
Hey, if you love it, I love it. We'll take it. You're
So
funny.
I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said something about assault charges. I don't know about those.
Yeah, I don't know anything about any assault charges, absolutely either.
Oh, I did see some people asking before. It was
Oh,
earlier on though.
she's talking about the ones in Florida when Bree walked up behind the girl and bashed her in the head, and that woman has now apparently, allegedly,
Oh.
possibly pressed charges, but we don't know anything about that.
Oh wow. I mean, oh, wow. I mean, honestly, it probably won't matter much in this case just because
Yeah,
there's so many other pressing issues and she didn't have the baby. If she had the baby and this happened,
yeah. I think if
yeah.
they, at least the judges that I work with, if let's just say, if it was here and it was one of the judges I worked with everything that's on there, if they were even to bring it up, a judge here most likely would be like, I, I'm done. I am done. Enough. We have enough evidence. Don't bring something else to me out of jurisdiction, out of another state, something I have nothing to do. I get it. She's unhinged. She's not in the proper place. Miss Olson, are you going to get the help that you need? Like, he would get very, out here, they would get very frustrated with, because you're just adding on so much. At a certain time, you have to realize we got enough, you know? But again, I also get wanting to provide everything. Thank you, love. Just in case. You know, you never want to be like, oh, I missed this and that's why I didn't get whatever, you know, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, you guys, I think with the abduction, that's gonna be all that stuff I think is gonna come up. But again, this is the last day of trial, so this is
well,
her time.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
actually, somebody asked a good question. It's relating to that a little bit.
Yeah.
So somebody asked if 2K is going to be able to talk about any of this stuff, and the answer is actually no. So it's possible though that there is that second hearing date on May 2nd. I do see that on here. So a couple of things could happen. Um, they could get finished with Bree's side of her case. If she shows up, then it would be immediate, and then he could address all of this. He has filed several motions that need to be addressed, so, but in terms of the general case, no, he cannot present new evidence. He cannot present, he can do quite a bit of damage on redirect with her if she shows up. Um, but yeah, the court will have to hear all of he's filed a lot of ex parte motions. It's very high conflict. So on May 2nd, it's likely that's when those will all get addressed. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild actually.
It will be very interesting to see, guys. It'll be
And
very.
somebody asked about DNA and paternity. You can, you don't have to do a DNA test to have paternity. He's not contesting it, and neither is she.
Right. Well, she did say, but again, she says a lot of stuff. She did say that she was going to go in and say that there's a huge possibility that he's not the father, and she
Too
wants him
late.
tested. But I think that's just throwing anything out there. And then somebody, I don't know who it was, but I saw a video today of someone saying, "You guys all believe that 2K is the father of that, but have you seen Addison's Ray dad? Because that he looks just." I'm like, okay, calm down, people, calm down. Let's not just throw absolutely everything out there, because I think that's a
Yeah,
bit
well,
excessive.
it's too late anyway. She could go to court and say he's not the dad, and it's too late.
Right.
It's too late. She would have to, I mean, it's too late. And also, there is a thing called a psychological parent. And even if it is true that he's not, he's still the legal parent, and he's also the psychological parent if he's not the biological parent, and that matters.
There you go.
But yes, that
And
is really sad that she's doing that though to him, because that is, for a father, that's a really
right.
hard thing to hear.
And it's not like it's not stuff that we don't hear. At least I hear often when a mom is not getting things, kind of not going things her way, or they're mad. That's something that they will do. Oftentimes is be like, "Oh well, he's not the father," and then the judge will be like, "Well, sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once." Then the judge will be like, "Okay, well, who else could the father be?"
They're like, give me names.
Yeah, and then they're like, give me names. And it's like, and they're like, are you just doing this because you're thinking this because that's going to look bad on you? And it's like, okay, never mind, just kidding, type thing. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
yeah, it is. And people are asking if that she'll be tested. Well, California is really hesitant to order those tests.
Really?
Um, yeah, in family law. In dependency, they'll do it for sure. I mean, that's like, but I also don't know. I haven't read the original complaint and if he asked for it.
Here,
And
they'll do it right there. They'll walk you right down the hall. They do it right in the court.
I wish. Oregon's also really terrible about it too. Like I mean, I had a case. Oh gosh, I had a case. Well, oh man, that the mom was very obviously on serious drugs.
Yeah.
And it was a case out of Portland, and Portland just doesn't. It's not a big deal there. But anyway, that was a really sad case. Actually, it was one of my first. Well, not my first losses, but it was a big loss for me.
Isn't it crazy how we have those certain cases like that you just remember, they stick with you, and it's like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, it was just such a. I mean, we had the dealer testifying, guys. Like it was not. I mean, it was.
Wow.
And then mom showed up to court with bleached hair. I was like, oh, because we had requested, a hair follicle, and man, anyway, I just,
yeah. Anytime you have a client that shows up and they randomly have their hair shaved or whatever, or dyed, and like, they're going to take hair from somewhere else. Like why? Like, when you just randomly come in with dyed hair or completely shaved, known for, come on now, you know better. So I don't know.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know. And then I tried. I thought I was good. I tried to make an argument because then she was passing all the UAs, and I even brought in the final hearing a bottle of the stuff, like I bought it. I showed the receipt, how I had it go through, my client. And I was like, how easy did it, was it for you to purchase this? And, how expensive was it? We went down the whole thing, and I was like, so it's pretty easy, would you say, to pass the UA? And oh man, the judge was like, no.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, crazy. But, yeah, I don't know. How will the objection be presented in court? It was already presented. It's already been ordered. It's done.
Can you keep answering questions for a second? I'm just going to take my little restroom break. I'll let you keep answering questions, and I'll be right back.
Yeah. There will be, Betty B, there will be an order about that, but it's really hard to enforce because the court can't, they don't have any ability to they don't have any ability to order the people around him to come in for tests and stuff. So, okay, is Bree also classified as high conflict? Okay, don't hate me, but no. The reason why is because she stipulated to the agreement. She agreed to what he wanted, which negatively had an impact on her. She has been saying all over the place, like, I just want to figure it out. Like, I don't want all this fight. And I don't think she does. Like, I don't think she wants to fight. I really don't. I think she's just not, what's the term? She's just not operating on all cylinders right now, I guess. But that's not high conflict. It's just like, I don't want to be mean. It's just like not making wise choices.
Okay, thank you.
The case can be moved to Texas later. The California court has to address all the issues that are on the docket, and then 2K would have to request. But I'll be really transparent that my opinion would be to not move it to Texas, because if she's here, it's easier to enforce here if the case is here.
Interesting.
And if that's going to be the MO, right? Like, to take him to, I'm saying here, I'm in California. So if her MO is to take the baby from Texas to California, then I would maybe keep it here in California so that they can somebody, I don't know that I want to answer the question about 2K's attorney.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I see it though, but I don't.
Well,
I think if you guys can read between the lines of what I'm saying, maybe you can.
Yeah.
He likes them. That's all that really matters. But yeah.
Yeah. And it's all about, just getting stuff done, and it's like as a social worker, right? When I told you guys in the past, when I would have clients, or not my clients, but I'd have another social worker sit next to me, and I know they're given the wrong advice, absolutely given wrong information. But what do? I would just randomly start me, because I'm petty. As an attorney, you couldn't, probably can't do this, but I would act like I'm on the phone, and I would answer the question loud enough for the client to hear that person's given the wrong information, to make sure that I'm helping, because, not everyone does things the right way. Not saying that my way is always the right way, but I'm always in the best interest of all clients, whether you're mine or somebody else's. I always want what's best for them. So
people are saying that there was a request for a psych eval. I would say I haven't seen. Well, let me see if it was denied already. I didn't see it in there a minute ago, or well, I guess it was a while ago now. But
I don't know if it was done. I know I said, if you guys are talking to me, I know I said I would love to read one. If one was done, I would love to read a psych eval, because again, that's where my mind goes. I love how the brain works. I want to know her psyche.
So it looks like he requested no visitation. That was denied. And then the court wrote on the order saying the custody orders from 3/24/25 remain the most current custody and visitation orders. Let me see about the. I don't see anything about a psych eval in here, guys. But it's not likely that it would be ordered. To be honest, I mean, they're just really expensive. I mean, maybe I don't know.
And just for the people I'm asking, because I haven't seen it for a while, but all the information she's reading is public information. I don't want anyone thinking that she's going into her computer and pulling stuff up that one of us could go into her computer and pull up, or getting herself in any trouble, or providing, all of us with detailed information that's only in the law. All this information is public information.
Yeah, so he has sole legal custody, sole physical custody. but the parenting time is supervised to be paid for by Bree 100%. And it says again, the court added in there dates and times to be coordinated by mutual agreement of the parties and availability of the professional monitor, which is that's a whole other thing, is professional supervisors are backed up too. They take forever to actually get started.
Yeah.
So
And you can't hear go out and come back in because everyone else can. Sometimes that happens, and they're expensive, and she has to pay for that. And it's in Texas, meaning she also has to pay for her transportation to Texas. Up until now, 2K has offered to listen here. You come on, get over here. My cat found where I hid the catnip yesterday, and now he's like a canine. He's like, give me the Rex. Come here, buddy. Get over. But it's right by where I keep my parents' urn, and I'm terrified he's gonna knock it over. But he wants his daily fix, I guess. He's tearing shit up. What do I do with it? I forgot what I was saying because I was terrified he's gonna knock over my parents' urn. What was I saying right before that, though?
About her having to pay for it.
Yeah, up until now, he has paid for everything. So he's always paid for his flights out there, for her to see the baby. So now she's gonna have to pay for that. So that will be very, very interesting. All right, come here, you little ruggy.
I don't see anything in here though that's even saying that a psych eval will be addressed at any point either, though. So I'm just making sure I'm going through it. Let me search it. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I don't see any. I don't see anything.
There you go. I think my cat has a.
Amanda says it was in the notes area. In the notes area of what? Of his request or of the order? Page 14. Let me see. Oh, is this 14 pages? Wait, where is it? Hold on. The request for no visits was denied. It's per mutual agreement, which is still no visits, so whatever. Page 8, number 14. Of the order, though? Page 8, number 14. I think that may have been in his request, but let me just, hold on. Oh, the request, not the order. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't granted then.
No, supervised.
Yeah.
No, supervised visits. You can't. No.
You can't bring anybody.
Nope. And let's just say she decides that she's going to go to supervised visits. Now, this is something I've actually done. I've actually sit in on. Again, I'm in a totally different state, but let's say she goes in and has the same attitude that she always has, right? Of her joking, right? If she tries this whole nonsense, okay, buddy, like you're gonna do this. Okay, hurry, mommy's gonna K-nap you again and take you to Cali, joking or whatever. Absolutely not. They're gonna end that visit immediately. That gets written up. Because you have someone that sits in there with you and just, writes up what you're doing and how you're interacting with the kid. And if she makes any type of those like inappropriate jokes, that it will be stopped immediately, and that will go directly to the judge.
There's a lot of questions about supervised visits. So they will not test her before the visits. That they won't do that. It depends on the supervisor on how they would handle that. If they felt like maybe she was not all here or all there, they could terminate the visit. They likely would. They would terminate the visit. But there's a whole set of rules that you get before you go to a supervised visit. So somebody asked if she could record. No, she cannot live stream. She cannot record. Likely won't even be able to bring out her camera or her phone.
Now sometimes in the past we would allow for,
Photos.
again, different state, we would allow them, like they would hand me their phone. I would take pictures, a couple of pictures of them, and then we would lock their phone up. They would get that at the end, so that they could have those pictures, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a normal situation that would be reasonable, but I think a supervisor would see, or I'm sure, because what also happens every oh, can you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay. What will happen? My AirPod died, so I have to go grab my other AirPod somewhere. But anyway,
It actually sounds better now.
oh, good. Okay, never mind. I won't go grab my other AirPod. So the supervisor will meet with both parties before, and I'm sure that 2K will tell them everything. And so it would probably be a special condition of these visits that no pictures be taken at all. Um, which is kind of sad, right? Because, the babies grow so
Yeah.
quick during these ages. But yeah, so do I think that they're going to give her the opportunity? I don't think that they will. Do I think that they should? Yes, but I don't think they will. I think supervised visits are terrible for the kids, by the way. P.S.
They're
Somebody asked that
traumatizing.
question.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
they're traumatizing. There's nothing normal or natural about them at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Because
kids don't act normal. We really don't get a good sense of how you really are around your child, because you're either on extreme high alert and you're defensive with whoever the supervisor is, or you're over precautious and you're overly, it's just not a natural setting. It's traumatizing to the kids. You get a reminder that mom's there, you get to see him for an hour, then you get ripped away again. It's the whole situation is absolutely terrible. It's traumatizing. I hate them.
yeah, and I think I mean yeah, and the parents don't act normal either. So then the babies don't. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's tough, but I mean it's better than nothing. So
Right.
I hope that she partakes. But yeah, why do you feel she should have the opportunity? Well, I think okay, that's a good question because I don't think she should really, but I think strategically he should offer it. Does that make sense? Like, I know people hate to hear that, but I'm thinking from a strategy perspective, not from, oh, not from like, okay, if I put my mama hat on, I'm like, absolutely not, right? But if I put my attorney hat on, I'm like, yeah, they should.
Right.
So it's a different perspective.
I don't even think she'll reach out to him. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. She won't know what to do. Yeah. What is your problem? Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if you knock over my parents, I'm rearranging my room so the shelf. Sorry that I'm distracted. The shelf that my parents' urn is on is not bolted down, and I don't know why my I think my cat needs to go to rehab. But
Oh
nonetheless,
no.
look, someone just said that too. I just took it away, and so now that I took it away, he's trying to go back over there. He needs rehab. But if he knocks over my parents, we're gonna have an issue, and I have an attorney right here. I cannot commit a crime with an attorney watching me.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I just need him to pipe down. He just needs to pipe down.
I'm not licensed in your state.
Okay, perfect. We're fine.
One state over though I am.
Yeah. Oh, hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I'm glad to hear that your parents are out on a shelf though, because sometimes they're in the closets or
Oh, no, they have a shelf. I even promised my mom I would separate her and my dad for a shelf, and they each get decorated for the holidays and whatnot. She's like, "Don't you be putting me on the same shelf as your dad, and I'm playing with you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I
Come
love
back and
that.
haunt you."
Oh, I love that. And I love that you do that.
Yes, it is the best. What is your problem? There's nothing over there. Um, he's a feral cat. He looks real feral. But he's lived outside for 10 years, and they just made friends with me, and I put in a cat window. He just started bringing his ass inside. Now he stays in here most of the time. But he only lets me touch him and pet him and love on him. Nobody else. He's vicious.
But they are just such great joys when they love you. When they hate you, not good.
He's a good one, though.
Oh, that's sweet.
All right, guys. Do you guys have any other questions, or should we wrap it up for the evening? I so appreciate you. Even oh yeah, we will do a quick recap. Even though you, like you said, you don't always agree with me, I love that, and I want to have these conversations. So you're always welcome to come up. Um, so a quick recap is 2K is going to get custody. I mean that's, and I mean maybe you can do a better recap than me. That's kind of how I would say it. But,
Oh, um, well, we talked about a lot.
There was a lot.
Yeah, so I think the overall recap is that she's not going to get charged with any criminal act for this situation. Um, it will impact her ability to have future parenting time, which we will see play out. I think on the 25th, I don't think she'll show up, but I hope that she does. I think we talked about how unlikely it was that she would find another attorney who would pick up, I mean, just really smack in the middle where one side has already presented their case in chief. That's wild. I don't see any attorney taking that on. As a result, I think that she will remain on supervised visits for a very long time. And
sorry,
the baby's safe now.
Asked, huh?
The baby's safe now, so that's good.
That's the biggest thing right there, right? The baby is safe. The baby is away from all of that. Kim asked a good question. What about baby's first birthday? Because baby's first birthday is the day after court. I think, again, supervised visitation is agreed upon. So if they can agree upon it and they can get it booked in a facility in California, which she said they're backed up, it would be very difficult. But I don't know. What is your thoughts on that?
Oh, she's not going to see him on his first birthday. I don't think.
You guys have to remember, though, she did that, right? Like,
yeah.
She chose to make that decision to take him across state lines. And she said when she had him, I just wanted one more day with him. I just wanted one more night. Yeah, visits are in Texas, but I'm saying if they had agreed upon it because it was his birthday and they were able to find a facility in California, possibly. But again, though, I'm telling you, if you guys have not done them, those visits they're not normal visits. They're not really good visits. Don't get me wrong, I have had some that have been great because I get along great with them and I make them as normal as possible. I blend out as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? So, but not everybody's like that. And so it would be very difficult and it would just be awkward. And I just can't see it happening, especially one day after when they're booked out.
I also think, first of all, I don't think that she's going to be able to get any supervised visits even started until after that hearing because it's a process like everything. It's too long of a process, to be honest. But anyway, it is a process nonetheless. And it won't be set up in time. The baby does not have to be in California for court, but the parties do. And then a lot of people are asking about how this current RO affects her. It really doesn't. I mean, honestly, it just really doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, so we will see.
Is that did I recap everything?
I think that you did.
DPS wouldn't get involved in a case like this because it wasn't, like really tragic physical abuse.
Yeah.
No, and there's an active custody case. What was that? Sorry.
I said, no, I think you did a great job. And again, I had mentioned that too. CPS won't get involved because he has custody of them. There's no abuse allegations there. CPS only really gets involved if it's a really traumatic case and if Baby W was still with her and living with her, and we were able to prove all those allegations, and there was all the other stuff going on. Okay, but he was there for 2 days, and now he's going back and staying permanently with 2K, and so there's not a reason to go through all that. There's nothing they could do because he's with 2K.
Yeah.
I don't know if Scylla's daughter's with Onyx. I've been on here. I haven't had a chance to check.
I think so. There's the questions go so fast. Will 2K be in his legal right to decide what? He can decide anything. Oh, people are asking about kidnapping classes. I have no clue what she's talking about. No, I'm hearing that all over the place. I have no idea what she's talking about. Kidnapping classes. I feel like she's just making it up. It's like a rage bait term, like kidnapping. Kidnapping classes. I don't know what
Yeah.
she's talking about. I'm sure she will have to take parenting classes, and she'll have to probably take high conflict. She'll probably have to take like new ways for families or some, they'll have to do some type of.
Yeah. Well, they were both ordered, I think, in the beginning to do parenting and high conflict co-parenting classes.
Oh,
He didn't
okay.
take either. John had taken both of them. And I know she was asked again, from my understanding, when they completed the first 2 days of trial on the 30th and 31st, she was told she had to do them. She had the 6 months to do them. She still hasn't. Okay.
What was this? What about him being a Texas resident? She always talks about that. Oh, um, she, yeah. I mean, Bree's just trying to control. The baby lives in Texas,
Right. She
but
wants the baby
California
there.
retains jurisdiction. Everybody, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't just get automatically transferred to Texas.
Yeah.
I also think just what we know about Bree and her desire to control, which is, I believe, why she also came to California with the baby. I think that she was just trying to assert some, semblance of control. Because of that, I don't see her ever doing the supervised parenting because they control it all. So I think that'll be a challenge too.
Hold on. Angie, why does her saying wanting only one night mean anything when she could have had? I truly, again, this is only my opinion, like looking at the entire totality of the situation. I think when she was saying that she only wanted one night, in my opinion, I feel like she knew that she was not in the best position to be a mom or ready to take on said role, which is why she kind of kept giving time. I'm with AA Law Talk that when the baby was 5 weeks and John took him for 5 days, I think she got that feeling of free time because you guys remember she started going out again when the baby was 6 or 7 days old. She went out for the first time. She was already back to partying, but she then was complaining about having to take care of the baby. So I believe it started there. And I truly think that she knew that this was going to be the last time that she was going to get to see him. This was the last visitation before their court date. And so she knew she had to give him back the next day. And she was like, I just wanted one more time. It was just the final thing for her. That was, I think, in my opinion, that was her final goodbye. Because she just kept saying it. I just wanted one last time. I just want to talk one more time. I just wanted to hold him one more time.
Yeah, that was really sad. That was really sad. But I agree that I don't know how real that was because she spent the whole time on TTS. But
Well, and then went out that night.
yeah,
Left it with somebody else and went out that night. And you guys remember that was the other night too, right? She was very manic or psychotic. She was having I feel like was having some type of episode because she went from that to, listen here, bitch, I'll burn down the whole city, but you can replay this. I mean, she just had that crazy psychotic moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, the whole thing was weird. And then she went to talking soft again. And whenever I see somebody in those type of things, I'm like,
yeah, that really creeped me out. Actually, I remember seeing that clip of this is mommy baby time or what? Yeah, I was like, ooh, that is creepy. Somebody asked me if I had seen a case like this, and I'm gonna say no because this case is so unique in that both parties have very large followings online. But I've had worse cases but none like this. Like this is very nuanced. It's very public. It's even more public than Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's case.
I
So
know, isn't that crazy?
yeah, so you know, like I so no, not like this case, but I've had worse cases that have been just really terrible. So
And I think a lot of it's because it's all publicly shown, right? Especially when she has him. It's now that they're on kick, it's 24/7. It never goes off. You see absolutely everything. And then they have the TTS. So not only do you have everything, you're hearing what the people are saying that are watching. And again, to have children in that situation hearing that stuff, they may not understand, but again, you're just hearing this weird voice shouting stuff at just disparity. It was just it's a terrible situation that no child should be in. And I don't know how you had that many adults in one room or thank you, Brandy, one room or setting, and not one person thought maybe we should turn this off while the kids are, at least while they're sleeping, or maybe these lights and all this noise is a bit too much. And the way they sat around him, like it was just such a weird,
so bizarre.
yeah, adults.
Yeah, and I was just thinking to myself while that whole thing was going on, was about how all of our court orders, all of them, if you guys all have court orders, anybody, even if it's a perfect divorce, they all say don't disparage the other parent in front of the child.
Right.
And I just kept thinking about how these text message or these whatever they're called, TTS things were being read out, just slamming her. I mean, I was like, wow, I don't even know what this would fall under, but something crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. The whole situation is just crazy. It'll be very interesting, though. Can you imagine, though, for new attorneys coming up going through law school, can you imagine this being a case study? Like, how does this change and affect things when everything is live streamed and you have all this negative stuff? And then, again, you have people offering to, for your kids or asking for... People are literally asking her to position the child in certain ways, and she's doing it.
It's terrible. I mean, it's absolutely...
Yeah, it's like, so, but can you imagine, like, when you were going through law school, you guys studied I'm sure, the things that were, the hottest things then. Imagine kids, younger adults now coming through and having to study stuff like this. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just so nuanced, but I mean, there's really terrible cases. I mean, I've had some really bad cases of serious neglect. Kids are in the less than the first percentile for weight and height, and never at school, always late at school when they are going. I mean, I've had really bad cases. So that's the other thing too, that when people, like, all of us are watching this and everybody's like, oh, it's so terrible. And it is terrible. I don't want to discount how terrible it is, but we see really bad stuff, and this is neglectful, certainly. But baby is okay. And he's better now, so that's good. Somebody asked if a judge could order her to go to a dual diagnostic, and no. Judges really don't like to force people to go to treatment because it's ineffective if it's forced.
Yeah, it does not work if they don't want it. It really, really doesn't. And I think that, when I go to court with my clients, and I try as soon as they come to me. Obviously, I do their evaluation, find out exactly what they want to do, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. What is our plan, right? And so as soon as they come to me, if they're ready for treatment, they want it, we do that. I try to have them do every single class that in my head, I'm pretty certain that the judge or the DA is going to ask for, because then it's already done and it just looks better. But they have to want it, because if they don't want it, I'm not offering, I'm not putting it, because it's not going to work. They're going to be right back in the same situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's not ready. She just keeps saying that she's just going to go for 2 days because it'll look better. Well, now it just made it look 10 times worse because you just admitted on live you're only going for it to look better. So it's not going to look better.
Somebody asked if the Mop and Chris situation, no, it won't impact him. It doesn't have anything to do with him.
Yeah, he wasn't there. I mean, now do I think was it dumb of his friends to do? Absolutely. Um, but it's not going to affect him anyway.
Yeah. And then also, it doesn't matter that he got the baby and then the baby went to back to Texas with his mom. That doesn't matter either. A lot of people I hear, or not hear, but I see people commenting that, oh, he got the baby and then sent him away right after. That doesn't matter.
No, because again, he had to stay and finish up with his court stuff that he did, and got back. So yeah, I mean, we could like nitpick all of the little stuff, the whole time. It's crazy. It is just, to me, it's very interesting. I pray that we don't see more cases like this. I have a feeling we eventually will with Owen and Stella. I pray someone goes and gets that baby. But I hope we don't see more cases like this. I am a firm believer of just keeping your kids off of social media, because it's just not good for them. And I know all these family channels are popping up and they're so huge and they make tons of money, but it's just not good, especially knowing the software that's out there, the AI software that's out there that people can use to turn your pictures into videos of doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It's just, there's no amount of money in the world to me that is worth absolutely anybody doing or thinking anything differently of my children or my grandchildren. So I just think kids need to be off the internet, but that's probably just because I'm old.
No, I'm the same way, but I think people will. I don't know. I feel like this is a wave that will crash. I mean, I think we are seeing a little bit of it with some of these new laws, like the Coogan laws, and some of these laws are recognizing, hey, we have to do more to protect. What was that?
Oh, I just saw a thing that said, Angie, Stella took the baby back to Florida. Stella left the. Oh, thank God.
Oh, good. Oh,
that makes me feel better. Oh, I'll sleep good tonight. Last night. I was physically ill. Seeing those, I was physically ill.
I cannot understand why anybody thinks that a child should be in that house.
You're about to be homeless again. You better stay out of there. I don't know what's wrong. He's so like chill. He's like the laziest individual ever. All he does is eat, hops out the window to like check I don't know what he does out there, and then hops back in and lays in his bed and sleeps. He's just this old man, and all of a sudden he's like taken a liking to this shelf, and I don't know why. It's just the weirdest stuff. Anyways, Stella signed a contract with ET. Oh God. Well, just take the baby. You are pressing your left there, homeboy. Stop it. He does this because he knows, like, usually when I'm in bed. And it's just like last night, you guys, if you guys were my live last night, when he was acting up so much. Oh, as soon as I got off and I got in bed, he was just fine. No child no child should be online. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, that's it. Go on.
I agree that children should not be online. I totally agree.
Go get in your bed. Get up there. Get in your bed. I'm going to turn on the vacuum. Golly.
Especially with now, there's all these like AI things I've been hearing about. I haven't seen any. I mean, in court, I haven't seen any, but it's wild. Like, you don't even want a picture of your kids online.
No, I did. I'm sure you've heard about it or heard me talk about it, because I did 3 years of community protection, which all of them were either SA, pedos, or arson. I didn't have any that were arson, but, well, I guess I have one that was also. But most of them were.
Wait, hold on. Is Bree in here? Is that what everybody's saying? Is Bree's listening? Bree, if you are listening, just show up to court.
At a minimum, show up. At least that. Bree pops in here periodically. She will comment on my on my messages, usually letting me know that she doesn't need any help and or assistance. She knows what she's doing, but I always let her know it is there if she wants it. And all of us want nothing better than for her to get better and be able to be the mom that we all know that she can be, but she has to want to get to that point. So
Yeah.
Yeah, she's typically with me.
I don't care, guys. I don't care if she's saying bad things about me. I think I've been very positive for her, and I
absolutely. Yeah, you've been very, very, very positive for her, and have given great advice to her. See, that's the thing. Is like
I haven't given any advice. I've just given my opinion.
Well, right, opinion. But I think your opinions have been very fair and have been good. But see, this is one of the biggest issues with Bree. Bree thinks because people are talking about it, we're having a conversation, that it's instantly negative. Just because has surrounded herself with a bunch of yes people that have their nose up their butt and are gonna be like, oh, yes, Bree, yes, Bree, yes, Bree. And then when she has people that actually are knowledgeable, that know what they're talking about and know what they are doing, they could actually give her really great advice that could really help her, we're the bad ones, because she's always going to play the victim instead of just saying, you know what, maybe, just maybe, I could actually learn something, or I could actually take some advice from some people. But she, hopefully she'll get there one day. She will mature one day. I really hope so. But the longer she's around a bunch of yes people, it's going to take longer for her to accept that help.
Yeah. Well, it's just really sad to watch.
It is. The whole thing is just...
She got offended when I said what? It's probably not going in April? Oh, when I said she's probably not going?
She said that herself, that she may not go.
Did she?
Yeah, she's like, well, if I'm able to go, because she had said that she's going to try to check herself into a treatment. Then she said that she was going to hire a personal injury attorney. Then she said that she was going to bring back her old attorney. And then she said, well, if I don't have an attorney, I'm not going to. She has said a million things. I think the problem is she says these things when she's on Wi-Fi, you know what I'm saying? And she forgets what she's saying. Well, she can't drop off an Easter basket because she can't be around the child.
She should. I mean, if I were in her position, I would not drop anything off.
Yeah. Oh, what's your comment, Queen? I'm sorry, Queen. They're going. The comments are going by so fast. We are really trying to see them all. Stella is still there. Oh, she's still there. She's like, oh my gosh. Okay. I was gonna say, I just saw her not long ago. There. Yeah, she should not drop anything. She should not do anything that until she goes to court. And court is after Easter. She should leave it alone. Just get the help that she needs. Not drop anything off. Not do anything.
Everybody's asking about the restraining order again, so I'll go back over it. It was denied in part. It's not. So I did address this a little bit ago, but I'll do it again just because I believe probably because she streamed this or something. I don't know. So most of it was denied. It was essentially all denied, except for the custody orders from 3/24/25 remain the most current custody and visitation orders. There were some that were granted until the hearing, but it's all relating to the orders that were already granted. So it was not necessary for him to do this. Well, sorry, let me clarify. It's only necessary for him to be able to get police to enforce the custody visitation that was ordered on the 24th.
And you guys, I'm okay if people send her clips, or if she watches the whole thing, or if she's over here. I'm fine with that. Again, all she can get is positive information. If she wants to take it negative, she can take it negative. But we're not being negative over here. We're not over here bashing. We're reading over the documents. We're talking about cases. She's an attorney. I'm a social worker. We both work in the in the system. She actually works in California in family law as a practicing attorney. She could get great information or advice if she chooses to take it. But again, she instantly assumes everything's talking negative about her. We're not, Brie.
So a couple people are saying that the RO was necessary because she's a risk, and she's just not. I understand though the anger towards that, but the reason why there isn't a risk is because she doesn't have the baby. So, um, and then when she will see the baby, it'll be supervised. And so I guess is there some risk, but it's very small. And I don't think she's going to exercise any of it anyway.
Yeah. Because again, she has to put in all the effort at that time. Up until now, she's had to put in no effort to see her baby. When she has, she's not been able to exercise at all, right? Even this time, taking the trips out there, she had to postpone it a couple days. There was 87 million. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on. She can catch flights everywhere else timely. So it'll be interesting to see. But again, now I would like her to do it if she gets to the point, and I'm not sure if they're going to start. Well, I guess you would know better. Will they start right away with supervised visits, or will they start with the Zoom calls? Because mind you, she also has had ordered weekly phone calls that apparently she has not been making as well. So I don't know if they'll start with that or with the visitation, supervised visitation, because it's in Texas. So I'm wondering if they'll start with the calls first, with her doing FaceTimes first.
Well, it doesn't say anything about that.
So it'll be interesting. Either way, I hope she makes the effort, even if it is the call. I hope she makes the effort. And again, piece of advice, Brie, if you're listening here, send her this clip. She had stated before that John doesn't make an effort for baby W to participate. He's 11 months. There's nothing John can do to make the baby participate per se, right? But again, I have a grandbaby the same age as Winter. She's a month younger, actually. But every time she hears my voice, she's ready to go. Brie, what I would suggest is every time you're going to have a call, send out a new toy or something for him to play with so you guys can talk and communicate that through. The more he hears your voice and sees your face, even over FaceTime, it's going to help keep that bond and that connection, or start to build a bond and connection. It's imperative. To think a phone call just because he's a baby doesn't matter. It matters. My grandbaby at 9, or she'll be 10 months on the 1st, cries for me to call, so it's important. So don't miss those. Right, the bear with her voice, absolutely. Any of those little things, those are important, so he can hear her voice. My grandkids had them when they lived out of state. A bear, where they could hear grandma talk to them or sing them their night-night song or whatever the case may be. Those are all great things. There's books that you can get that they open it up and it's you reading them a book. Those are great things when you're at a position to where you're allowed to send stuff to him or to give him those things. Ask the judge, give him those things. It keeps your voice, your picture and whatnot in there. And 2K has said that he has pictures of you up in the nursery. I just think those things are just very important to know. Everything is not all negative. Quit taking it that way.
Yeah, I think it is weird, I guess, is maybe not the right word. I don't know. It is odd having calls with a young baby, but to your point, reading books and, drawing pictures.
Listen, my granddaughter's going to get very offended if you say that that's odd, because my grandbaby.
No, I mean odd, like
on it. It was so funny. I was watching her one day and I was talking to her mom. It was a regular phone call. My grandbaby, she's looking at the backside. She's like, where'd she go? Like she was trying to see like why her mom wasn't on the phone, so she was looking on the back. She don't play about her phone calls with her grandma, I tell you.
I didn't mean like weird like that. I meant weird for the person doing the calls, because you have to figure out what, makes sense and what works. But
it'll all, if she wanted to, and she will. But it's up to her. But she needs to. She did say one, and whether she was joking or not, She said she needs to fix her first. Yes. That's the first thing I can agree with her. You need to fix you first.
I think that people are saying that I'm unethical for being on here, so I'd like to just address that.
Oh, I get that all
Okay.
the time. Every
I'm
day.
like,
They
y'all,
have
we're
threatened to
people.
call the FBI on me. I'm like, it's only unethical if we came on here and we talked about our cases.
Oh, right, exactly. And not
Besides
only
that,
that,
we can have an opinion. Again, she
that's
didn't go
right.
into her computer and pull up her case logs and read that. She read documents that I also have that are public information. No one is being unethical. Bree is not her attorney. 2K is not her attorney. As attorneys, as social workers, as judges, as police officers, just because we have a profession does not mean we lose our First Amendment right. We still have a right to come onto a social platform and give our opinion of people that also came onto a social platform and put their whole life out there for us to see.
Yeah, I mean, this case has me sad. Like, I'm watching everything. I mean, I cannot. The other day, with all this stuff going down, I was like, oh my gosh, I have so many things to do, but I want to make sure the baby gets back, you know? So, yeah, I mean, I am a person at the end of the day, and I am especially enamored by this case because it's in my area,
Right.
both my area of practice as well as my location. So,
The thing that got me hooked on it was the fact that, again, because I work with young adults 16 and 24, so what got me was the fact that to see a 24-year-old man going to this lengths to get their child. We don't see that often. But I was going to tell you, too, on the topic of, as always, being called unethical because we have a career and come on social media and give people free advice. So
I'm not giving advice.
Right,
I
not
can't do
advice, but
it.
our opinions, right? Our opinions. So I got doxxed because people had said that they're like, aha, we found it out. She's not a social worker because she doesn't work for CPS. I've always said I don't work for CPS. I don't work for CPS. I've never worked for CPS, and I would never work for CPS. But for some reason, they felt like that. So they tell everybody, this is where she works. Call them. So my work has been, and get her fired for lying. So my work has been inundated with calls. And my boss is like, and my vice president's like, so after work on her free time, she goes online and helps other people and gives her opinion or advice to other people for free. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why
We
people
hired the
think that
right
that's
person.
okay.
That's what we want in our company. So we appreciate her. We support her. Like, I don't know what
But I just don't, I cannot fathom why people think that that type of behavior is okay.
I have no idea. It has sensed up. I don't understand or why, and especially for what, because again, I don't talk about any of my cases. And the only thing that they could say was that I don't work for CPS, which I don't, and that my title is not social worker, it's program manager. Because you don't stay stagnant in your career, you move up, right? So now I run a program, and it's just the craziest thing. So then to try to get people to call my job and get me fired, what was their intent? For what? What are we gaining from that? And fired for what? Now, if I was to come on here and talk about my cases, absolutely, I would be fired in a heartbeat. I would have quit, because that's just not something I would do because I am ethical. But I do have a passion for helping people, and if I can come on and give people my opinions on things from my experience, then so be it. I'll do it.
Yeah, and I think it's, I think moments like these in general are opportunities for people to learn the process and to learn, what goes on. I mean, she's showing everything. Previous to just a couple days ago, 2K was showing a lot, so it's, I don't know, it's like a glimpse into a very broken system,
Yeah.
which, people saw that play out, right?
Right.
Nobody understood why it took so long. Nobody understood what was going on. Nobody knew anything about the minute order not being enforceable. I mean, it's a chance for people to learn.
Right. Exactly, KT. That's what I would tell people too. I only talk about what they put out on the internet. And I feel like if one couple or one person is going through it, that means it, and they're putting it online, that means that other people are likely going through it. And if I can in any way give, talk about it, share the light on it, share resource, whatever the case may be, if I can talk about it and it helps somebody else, then that's what I'm gonna do. Broken people
Yeah.
in a broken system, yeah.
On that note, I think I hope that Bree recognizes is that she's actually relatable. She's actually relatable. And I think it might be hard for a lot of people to swallow that, which is probably part of the reason why it's really polarizing.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of, clients that I have where they're, single parents that are doing it 100% of the time and they're just completely done. Like they're done. They're tired. So, but she's just going about it in the wrong way, but she's relatable, right? Like this is relatable.
Right. Yeah.
It's relatable to want to be able to do what you want with your kid. It's relatable to be young and to want a break and to go to the bar, to go do something.
If it wasn't
It's
relatable, people wouldn't be watching.
Right. But she just takes it like, 1,000 steps too far.
Right.
But
She
it's
takes
like,
it to the highest extent. If she would just
yeah,
tone it down a bit.
yeah. Yeah, and it's relatable, and I also think that there are a lot of women who want to just say, "Here, take the child," and regardless, I mean, I don't know if people are going to cancel me or hate me for this, but men usually are able to do that, and it's no skin off their back. We don't hear it. It doesn't make these. I'm going to call it headlines, but whatever. It's not talked about on TikTok all the time. It's not, and so the fact that it's a mom who's doing it, it's everybody's enraged. And I don't think it's jealousy. I think Bree's pinpointed it as like jealous, and that's not it. Relatable, I think, is more
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It's
we
just so
talked
weird.
about it, and it's even come up in the comments several times. Imagine if the roles were reversed. We wouldn't even be talking about it, right? If a dad was doing all of this stuff when he didn't have his child, we wouldn't really be talking about it because it happens all of the time. Moms are supposed to be the ones, with that natural instinct that just has the child the majority of the time. Now, I think we would be talking about it if it was put out like it is here, the amount and the excessiveness. I think maybe, but I don't think. I think it would be portrayed much different if the roles were reversed.
Right, right. So anyway, I mean, people may hate me for saying that, but I just think it is true. I mean, and the other thing too about Brie is that she just says it, but you can't tell me you didn't think it. Like there were times. I mean, I have an 18-year-old. I have older kids, and um, when their dad would pick them up, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go out to the bar and have a couple drinks. I mean, but she just says it.
Yeah.
and in front of a platform of I don't know how many million people, right? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it with my kids present, obviously, but
And I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. This is my opinion, right? I think that some of the issues is the fact that Baby W was only a few days old when she went out the first time. That's just off the charts, right? And then it was the amount of times, and then the admitting that she was getting and doing snow, but only at nighttime, where your baby still wakes up every couple hours through the night during that time. And then it comes out that she was completely enamored, allegedly, and not able to care for the baby, so she had to have the nanny stay over. So she was just like, well, it doesn't matter because he's with a nanny. So it's these type of things like so quickly after having the baby and then wanting to be out all of the time. Like it's just the whole situation is just weird the way she and it's just again just not normal. It just didn't seem like there was ever that time for that natural connection, because I truly feel like when I watch the videos back of them together, and I've always called their relationship a situationship because I'm old, And when you were together for 10 months and off and on for 10 months, but you guys only just ever met up in locations, right? So I called it a situationship. But then when you watch the videos back, it truly looked like they were both very happy. I truly believe that Bree wanted the family, not just the baby, and she really wanted a girl. But I think she wanted a family. So I do wonder if they were able to work it out, would she be in a different situation, you know? Because she seems like she really does want to be with a person. Like she seems like she's a relationship type person in a sense, you know? I don't know. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really get a pulse on that, but maybe.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to tell because I don't think.
And I didn't know them before the baby was born. Before they started going to court, that's when I found them. So I know he gets a lot of flack for not being there during the custody. So, okay, so I got beat up a lot. Well, not beat up, but a lot of people gave me comments like, how dare you be a social worker and you support him? And he apparently, there was a DV situation between him and her. And so, how dare you support someone like that? So this was my response. I don't know if there was or there wasn't. I have absolutely no idea. But the information that was given to me by said person was that there was a DV situation and he left. He left her. Shouldn't he? Like, why would you want him to stay if they're in that type of toxic relationship to where it's getting to the point where it's getting physical and she's pregnant? Wouldn't the best thing to do would be to leave and not have her in a toxic situation? So they would rather have him stay. I don't understand. And again, as social workers, as attorneys, all of our clients are not like saints. They're not all like the greatest individuals. They've made mistakes. That's why they need us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do things and we help them through those situations. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
definitely interesting to see both perspectives from not an emotionally charged place.
agree. Oh, well, I'll have to when I get off, I'll see, because I've got so much mixed information between Owen and Stella since the few hours we've been on here. What, 3 hours? Yeah, I've got so much mixed information. So when I get off, I'll have to go check there. Can anyone answer me? Blah, blah, blah. I can't even speak. Can anyone answer me if who's ever spoken to 2K? If I have ever spoken to 2K, I will tell you this. This is what I tell everybody. Any conversations that I have with individuals off of the platform, meaning not in a live setting when we've been chatting back and forth, or not in comment sections, are kept completely private. Those are conversations that I will never put out there. I have a high respect for confidentiality, and that goes with absolutely everybody. Let's say Bree reached out to me and wanted to talk to me and have a conversation. 100% of what she says. Let's say she was able to give me. She called me and she wanted to give me information that would just completely, like, make it to where 2K would forever be able to have whatever, some great information. That information would never be released. I take confidentiality very seriously, so any information I have will never do that. I mean, if you read between the lines and you watch both of us, you would know the answer to that story, but you would never get the information.
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild. I guess I'm like just reading the comments while you're talking, and this is so. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know how you do this, Andrew. You know, I made some videos a while ago, and one of them was about the judge in the Florida Parkland case. I don't want to say the words. And I was disappointed in the demeanor of the judge in that case, and I got like tons of death threats. And I was like, all right, put my on private, not doing another video, like not interested. And she ended up, you know, taking herself out of the role. I mean, she had, you know, complaints, and anyway, so
it was tough. So this is how I started TikTok like many people back in COVID time, right? But I didn't really make videos. Periodically, I would do one or might let my grandkids do some, whatever. And then this case came, and I had to make a video on it because, again, I was enamored by this is the demographic that I work with, and how amazing to see a young man really want to fight to be in his son's life, however he sees fit, no matter the amount of money or time that was going to take. He didn't want to take the mom out of the picture, right? This is in the very beginning. He wanted to take the mom out of the picture. He just wanted his time. He wanted 50-50 custody. So I was enamored by that because, again, it's not something that I see often. And then I kind of started watching, and then I would ask people, I'm like, well, if there's other people you guys want me to, that you guys want me to do cases about, let me know. So then people just kept messaging me, right? And so then I would dig into the people, and I would give my thoughts or opinions on different cases and whatnot. But as soon as I would say something that went against something that somebody really liked, that asked me, oh, I was the absolute worst person. And so you just kind of have to not read into that. I think the most was sometimes when I say things, I think people in my head, when I say it, it makes sense. But then when I watch the video back, because I don't even watch the videos back because I don't know how to edit, do anything. I literally hit record, I talk, and then I post it, and that's it. But when people had asked me to do it on Fly and Toxic, I said, I remember this verbatim. I said, so you guys asked me to do it on Fly and Toxic, and I said, well, Toxic's a perfect name because that's exactly what this is, Toxic, because of Jenny. I think people just heard Toxic and thought I was talking about Toxic.
Oh,
At
yeah.
the time, Jenny, which is Fly's mom, was down talking Fly Smudge right in front of Kalaya. I went on to say, I think Toxic is a great mom. She's doing the best that she can under the circumstances. Toxic had said herself that she needs to come up with a schedule. I agreed. I said kids thrive off of structure, consistency, and a schedule. But I think people just saw that I said Toxic is a perfect name because that's what this is Toxic. And they just assumed that. So I got bashed on that because people just assumed that I just didn't like Toxic, which isn't true. When I talked to Fly the first time, I said, your main issue right now in situation is your mom. It's not Toxic. It's your mom. And they've, I guess they've since worked it out, or who knows? I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I've never seen anything negative about Toxic, but I got a lot of flashback on that. But I don't. In the beginning, I really took a lot of time to make sure I tried to answer all of them, but I get thousands of notifications a day. There's absolutely no way that I can get back to everybody, and definitely I'm not responding to the hate comments, so they just don't even really get read.
Yeah,
I can't make everybody happy. I just try to make as many people happy as I can. Yet I'm a either you love me or you hate me type of person. There's really no in between, so it's all good.
that's a good way to live.
Amen. Got to.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hop off for the night,
All
but
right,
it was
love.
such a pleasure to chat with you.
Yes,
And
you're welcome up anytime. I absolutely loved it. And it was great to have somebody who's an attorney that's from that area to answer the question. So love you much. Appreciate you. You're welcome anytime. Thanks for joining us and hanging out for so long. I appreciate it.
yes. All right. Well, I'm glad that I was able to, that I had the time. I'm not doing anything, so have a good night. And
You as well, love.
yes. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was absolutely great to be able to have an attorney come up and give her opinions. And I hope that answered a lot of questions that we had. I know it was good for me as well to kind of get some of the answers. Because again, I don't always know, I'm not perfect. I don't know. Can I tell you my story? Like on live? Can we do it tomorrow? Because I'm just about to get off, but I would love to hear it. I really enjoyed it too. Would you prefer me not to tag you? Wait, tag me in what? No, tag away. Tag away. Yeah, I don't mind at all. I'm just saying that I don't always get a chance to respond. Oh, I look at the stuff you send me. Yeah, that's how I get my information. I'm just saying, like in the comments and stuff, I just don't have a chance to do it. We live, we learn, we listen, and we don't judge. Have you been in some of my lives? Oh, my people be judging. My people be judging. I know some of you nosies out there be like, we listen and we judge. We do. We judge. Can she come back after? Oh, that would be great. Yeah, I can definitely ask her if she wants to come back after the I Love You Guys More. Yeah, I would absolutely love it if she could come back after the court date. That would be great. Because I also asked lawyer investor too. I sent him a message and see if he wanted to, but he said that or I haven't heard back from him. Yes, I do. I'm a mama of 4, and I would. Yeah, I think that's where some of us moms, right? Put it on retainer. I think that's where some of us moms have a hard time understanding Bree, because we would move mountains and earth, and it seems like she can't even move a pebble. But on the flip side, working with the population I work with, I have a place where I just want to help her. Like I just want to just help her get the help that she needs, or find out exactly what it is that she needs. Is it that she's just not ready? And that's okay. I say that all the time. It is if you've had a child and you're just not ready to be a parent, that is okay. But it's okay to say, and it actually makes you a much better parent to say, you know what? I need to figure out what's going on. I need to find myself so that I can be a better parent. That is so much better than dragging the child along to try to figure out what you're going, right? Also, she doesn't have the support system that John has. That makes a big difference. And it also makes me sad. I don't know what's going on with her family, or what that dynamic is, or what that dynamic looks like. But it makes me sad that she does not have that. So the social worker side of me just wants to just hug her and say, it's going to be okay, and let's figure it out. The mom side of me is like, how can you do that? So, and that's why I have to put that mom side of me away when I'm at work. And my kids have had to tell me many times growing up, you're my mom, not my social worker. Take that hat off. So I don't know. Again, it's not pro one or the other. It's pro child. That's all I can do, is just be pro child. To do what? Wait, what? Is Messy T in here being messy? I know she wants a car. Wait. Uda's, what's happening? I sent you a video of her saying 2K won't get full. Well, I think that she can, I think that, one, she likes to say things, that's fine. She likes to say things to try to get people riled up. I think she knows darn well what's going to happen on the 25th, right? And I think that that's why she was saying she just wanted to have one last night. She knows that 2K is going to get sole legal custody of baby 2K. That may not have been what happened had this past weekend not happened, but it did. And now we have to deal with, what's going to come from that. And, well, we don't have to. She's going to have to deal with that. Again, Bree, the only thing, I would say to you, the attorney just said to you, just show up on the 25th. Plead your case. That is your day for you to you just say your part, so you definitely want to be there whether you have an attorney or not. And then don't miss any of your calls, your visits, and really work on getting yourself right and continuing to build and bond that relationship with your son. Can you guys just keep tapping, because we're starting to get, you know, some people get where do we follow you? Do we think that's gonna happen? Do you guys think it will? But same thing, YT. You go to YT, or I hear favorite. I haven't done favorite yet, so we'll have to try to do that one night. We'll have to take a field trip. Sadly, baby W, we'll see. That's what makes me sad. Yeah, is that baby W is gonna see all this one day, and thank you, sweets. Yeah, all kids, when they have I'm so thankful that we did not have social media when I was growing up. When my kids were growing up, we didn't have social media. I mean, I don't think that I would have put things out there. My kids are 25 to 31 years old, and they don't do social media now. And I'm glad, because that means my grandkids aren't on there. Yeah, Jessica, she hasn't taken a real serious approach to all this. Now, I was glad to know that that was a photo after court. She did not actually wear that into the court. But nonetheless, the judge is going to look at all of that stuff. And I don't think things would have went the way that they're going to go had she not done this whole thing on this weekend with taking the baby out of Texas. Can you make a video to say where your live is? Like, wait, what? Can you make a video to say where your live is, like YouTube? Oh, you mean if it's not here? Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to put like on my little bubble where it's going to be. I've never done favorite yet, so it's usually YT. And this video will be uploaded onto YT as well, because I know a lot of people came in late. We only spent the first few minutes kind of just chit-chatting and whatnot, and then the attorney came on, so that was so great to get to hear her perspective. And my YT is the same as my TikTok. It's Angie W1470. Carissa, did we just become besties? She says, I have to say, you look young. I wouldn't have thought that you have kids in your 30s and grandkids. When do you want to go out for a Diet Coke? Go hang out? What do you want to do? Yep, I am 51. I'm going to be 52 in July. Oh, is it? See, just the other day. Now, it could be because maybe that's it, you guys. Oh, I see you now, Nova. That's the first time I've seen you, though. This is a new phone. If you guys were on my YT the other day, I ended up getting a migraine trying to struggle to read the comments. And we've been over there many times before. Well, not many, like 3 or 4 times. And that had never been an issue before, so I wonder if it's something in my settings. I think someone said I could blow them up, so I will do that for the next time I go over there. It's crazy doing doing this so close to court. I do believe she loves her son. Yeah, I fully believe that too. I fully believe that she loves her son. I've always said that. I'm just not sure that there's a bond there, or that she just doesn't have that natural maternal instinct. Like I've said, I feel like Valet actually has that natural maternal instinct. I don't think that Bree does. And I only base that off of a few things. Well, just the way Bree acts. Bree doesn't act like she really has a bond with baby W. And then when Valet was there the first time that she had her visitation with him, and he was crying, and she just kind of like pushed him off to the side, you could hear Valet Pigment, the way she talked to him in such a soft, motherly tone, and she's like, it's okay. And you could hear her shh, 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 and rocking him, and the way she talked, the way Valet talked to baby W was a lot different than Brie did, and that's her own child. Could be way off base. That's just my opinion from my assumption, what I saw. But I think that it can grow. And again, if she is using any type of substances at all, that absolutely changes how you feel. It can block your emotions, everything. So she needs to be completely clean. She needs to, look at whatever childhood trauma she's had and change that so that childhood trauma does not trickle down to baby W. And that's important. So, yeah. Billy has a newborn at home and none of them care. Yeah. I think with I am Angela, you were right. Yeah, I really think with Valet, I mean, I don't know. I could be way off base. Because Valet has been sneaky. She's been able to trick a lot of people. I don't think her intention that day she ding dong ditched her baby. I don't think her intention was not to come back. But then I think that she got, she had kids young and had been in she's only 20 and had been in a 5-year relationship. That's crazy. So she had never really had like a life or, hanging out, whatever. And to go and have all that happen, and then the unfortunate circumstances of meeting Brie and Santos that night, which are people then that flaunted her with, well, you did that for free in the back seat. Guess what you can get, for doing this. Look at all the money I can, that you can make, etc., etc. And I think that, can you speak on the RO? People are giving different answers. Tell which parts were approved. I'd have to go back in and look, or listen back into it, because I can't remember now either, because I'm getting tired. Yeah. I think this entire situation is going to ruin it for her. So, but I am going to finish up and go to bed because I am exhausted. And I got a long day tomorrow. And then next week at work, ooh-wee, honey. Lucky I love my job. But I tell you, when there's stuff going on this tickety-tockety, I'm like, this job is just in the way. So lucky that I love my job and my clients and my company. And yes, I will upload it. I will try to get it done tonight. This one is really long. And so look at you guys. 581 family members, 327.6 likes. You guys are amazing. Go ice your little fingers. I will upload it. Sometimes it takes a while because it's long. So sometimes it takes a while to upload. But I will stay up and get it uploaded for you guys tonight. I will... No, I can't. I can try to cut out the part with the trimmers on. But that was the majority of it. So it'll all be up there. It'll be on the YT. Again, it's the same as my TikTok, Angie W1470. I try to put all of my lives up there. A few of them I have skipped. But I do have last night's download. Oh, no, I think I put that up there. Where my kids' dad came on. And then my daughters came on. That was a hoot. We will do another one where my sons are going to join as well. It'll be a lot of fun. So... thank you so much, Chrissy, for the roses. I so appreciate it. I love you all so much. Thank you guys for coming in and spending your Saturday night with me. It was amazing. You guys are the best. I will see you tomorrow. No beef stew. Oh my God, the names you guys came up with, the family. But wait, we never came up with one with Trey. You guys are gonna have to think of one for Trey, because you guys got one for absolutely everybody but him, and he was in there. Jamal wasn't even in there, and y'all still named him. So we'll have to come up with it. We'll get it. All right, guys. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.